Good evening, everybody.
And that's why
We got Unai.
That's why we're kicking off. We've got Unai in the corner.
Ballard reckons he's Unai.
We're back.
He practiced that like 4 times.
And he butchered it.
Oh, he did it, and he butchered it.
Hear yours.
No, I'm not doing it. We already discussed this.
He knows the clips are going to come. What a way to start the podcast this week, guys. Away days are back once again. Midweek games, end of weekend. There's been games galore. There's all this stuff happening.
December season's upon us.
Yeah, we talked about it for how many months? 5 months? And
Talked about it a lot.
Finally here.
The festive period has begun.
Festive period is here. Let's kick it off quickly with what we learned from the weekend. I just want to start with, like Unai said over there, Aston Villa. They are cooking right now. And, you know, I'm one of those reactionary guys. I'll bounce on anything that happens. So I consider him a part
We
of
are pretty reactionary.
Yeah, I'm a reactionary. So I follow the trend, what's going on. So I'm considering them at least a part of this sort of big four or top four so far this season. I consider Liverpool a part of, I guess, a title race. They're not quite there yet, but they're a part of that group. I think what we saw from the weekend, you beat the top 2 teams, the best 2 teams in the league. You've got to be a part of some sort of title challenging group. No matter how long it lasts for, you've got to be a part of it some way. So I think that's what I've learned from the weekend. Anything else you guys picked up?
Just quickly on that, my kind of take from that is that, like, I 100% agree in the sense that they are definitely around there. I think the only reason you wouldn't you wouldn't consider Villa to be around there is that your brain still can't, like, you know, comprehend that, like, not Big Six.
Yeah.
Therefore, Villa, like, you know, aren't a part of that echelon, you know. But we've seen with Leicester before, like, it sort of only really hits you when they sort of hold the trophy, for example, or if they're in the Champions League, for example. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely consider them to be in that bracket now, 100%. You can't beat City and then beat the challengers and not be in that position when you win every other game as well. So, like, it wasn't just luck. Like, you know, they're doing this repeatedly now. They're building a fortress.
Yep.
And despite me not necessarily thinking they'll be there in May, they're definitely 100%. I agree in that bracket, putting pressure on.
Yeah.
So I'll throw up a question here for you two and for anyone that wants to answer the question. But do you think that Villa is in a better position than what Newcastle were this time last year?
I can't remember when Newcastle were this time last year.
You know, I think very similar though.
Were they like third?
But they had the home form as well. Like, it was also very similar. The thing about Villa though, like as I said in the video, like, you got a World Cup winning goalkeeper. For me, you've got probably the top 3 English strikers currently in Ollie Watkins. You've got Moussa Diaby.
How much does that mean though? Top 3 English.
But this is like the whole thing about, like,
they got quality.
The aura, or they're quality there, and you've got the midfield. They're not probably household names, but they're in the form of some of the best midfielders in the Prem.
Yeah. And we always say, sorry, on the household name thing, we always say, like, you're only a household name after, like, you know, like continuing, like, you know, lengthy success, right? You become it before people actually recognise you as.
Yeah,
and there's definitely potential these guys are that.
Those 4 midfield, and you've got Diaby on the left. You know, you got Pau Torres, who was linked to Manchester United, partly to Chelsea at a point in time. Now he's at Villa. You got one of the top European managers there as well. So as much as we can say they're not quite the big team that has the aura of the trophies, or that they're very similar to Newcastle, I think they're a bit more advanced in the fact that they've got more world-class players and more world-class quality at this point in time. Newcastle are going to get there 100%. But last year they were still playing Dan Burn. They were still not finding that midfield balance. I think Sean Longstaff still playing that midfield. It's still not quite there yet, right?
Extending on that, do you think it's more impressive from Villa in the sense that they haven't had this big owner come in, although their owners are financially stable and stuff?
They spend a lot of money.
Yeah, they do spend a lot of money. But do you think, like, Newcastle come in, splash the cash, and continue to splash the cash? You've seen signings like Tonali and Isaac, which Villa probably haven't done. I know the Moussa Diaby was 50 million.
Bailey was 50 mil. Pau Torres was a little bit. Like, you know,
Pau Torres was 30, but they haven't really. There's a next echelon of things. So, like, you got those clubs in the middle that, like, are happy to spend 50, maybe 60, even like West Ham did with Paqueta back in the day. But you only see the big clubs start to hit the 70, 80 mark.
I just think, though, Aston Villa is, if you go and ask someone in the UK, they are a traditional big club. Because they've got the European success.
As are Newcastle.
But so are other clubs like Forest.
But the thing, Newcastle have got that taint in the Forest. Well, Forest went down, and Aston Villa have been up now for how long? 10 years?
Years, yeah. It's been
Newcastle had that taint, the Mike Ashley era, that sort of scrubbed away all their, like, history.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think people would still consider Aston Villa probably a step ahead of Newcastle in the fact that they had that Mike Ashley period in Newcastle that ruined their club. Like it destroyed them, brought them to the ground, and they're working their way up. I think it's different though, because Newcastle, you say splash the cash, but they've done it in small, sort of like, really nitpicky signings.
No,
Pretty similar investment, I would say. Like, I'd say the investment strategy
similar,
was very similar. I know Isaac was a little bit more, sort of on the upper end of financial
I know, but
fees.
do you get where I'm coming from? Whereas, like, it's a little bit different. Like,
I think Villa's is more impressive.
I think they've been smarter with it.
But I think it's more impressive because it wasn't off the bounce of the new ownership and the whole new regime.
Yeah.
It was off the fact that they bottomed out after the hype that sort of, there was similar hype around Newcastle and Villa, new manager, the Liverpool legend sort of thing, and the whole sort of aura was building at Villa.
Yeah.
Then they bottomed out really, really bad.
Yeah.
And now it's literally been an 18-month sustained success,
Yeah.
or at least 1 year of sustained success now. And Villa are genuinely the real deal at the top of the Premier League now. Unai obviously struggled at Arsenal, but that was an impossible job.
Yeah,
we've seen this before.
yeah.
It's really hard to judge him from that. And he has European success. Unai is unquestionably a very, very, very good manager.
Yeah.
Definitely top 5 in the Prem. And look, I think, not to ramble too much, away from what your question was, but I think Villa's success deserves a lot of credit because of the fact how far they bottomed out and how it's sort of grown from within the club now. They had the players, they had the signings, they spent the money, it didn't work, but they trusted in what they did.
They kept to it.
Yeah, 100%.
He's telling you, these guys.
And then they're seeing, they're obviously reaping the rewards now. It's been a massive week for them, probably their best week in who knows how many years.
Their short history.
Yeah.
The young history.
just finally, before we move on, what are your real thoughts on Unai? Obviously, he's a great manager. We've seen him do it at Villarreal, win all these different stuff back in Sevilla back in the day and stuff like that. But he gets to this stage where he's really good with players who aren't household names. Do you think he's the type of manager where that's where where his ceiling is?
Might
Do you think
there.
If Villa's obviously in a period right now where they're looking to probably finish top 4,
I think minimum right now.
minimum,
Their goal right now.
not minimum, but they won't finish below
it's
6.
the adjusting expectations is minimum, but
6.
At the end of the year, all things equal, they will look at the year, and if they get top 4, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
If they get 6 and above, I feel like that they would say, okay, good season.
Yeah, but
They'll get Europa League by default by just winning the Conference League though, so they'd probably want to push top 4.
Yeah, they want that, but
but what I'm getting at is, do you think once Villa get into the position,
Can Unai take them to the
like
next level?
Newcastle,
To simplify,
I think they're going to continue to splash the cash because they're going to go, geez, we're a quality team now. Let's reinforce in this position, that position.
To put it simply, Unai Emery can do it better than Eddie Howe. That's basically what we're getting at. Who can do it better, Newcastle or Aston Villa?
Yeah, is that what you're asking?
I'm just asking, can he take him to the next level, title challenges, that type of level?
He was a part of a PSG.
I was about to say, he won 3. I think he won 3
part
in
of
a
those very
row.
successful PSG period.
Yeah, but he won 3 in a row and didn't win the league, the thing they were expecting to win.
No, but no one's
done that, though.
Tuchel didn't do that.
Yeah. We've seen the best managers.
Hodge didn't do
Was
that.
Tuchel a manager to take?
He won the Champions League with Chelsea.
Yeah, I know. You're kind of questioning Tuchel's managerialism here. Come on.
Well, he hasn't really, apart from
he won the Champions League as Man City.
Blood's
for God's
waffling.
sake.
Blood is waffling.
I think Unai Emery though is better equipped to go and do it.
100%. I agree.
And he's had that relationship with players in the past to go and do it. I think that's the simplest way to put it.
Okay.
Let's get into some of the games. Starting off the opening game of the weekend, Palace, Liverpool. I think, kept a close eye on this because the one only game that put in time. Liverpool again, comeback kings from behind.
I know. They're making me look bad from last week.
Yeah.
The only thing I touch
thought
on
it was
before we
over.
get into the game, quickly, I know we were all questioning my thoughts on McAllister as being an important player, but I don't know if you saw what Endo did in the weekend.
Endo
That
was shocking.
Tragic. And the one player that was missing that, wasn't quite getting it going for them on the weekend, I think was McAllister. They struggled to transition the play from deep in midfield. That Kwanzaa, whatever his name is at the back, a few fresh faces in there, but Endo struggled. He couldn't quite link it, couldn't get it going forward quite like McAllister was. So I think it just goes to show how important that spot is.
A lot of our concerns were highlighted through that. I think we all agree on the fact that Liverpool, for them to challenge, it's all going to have to go right. And we've seen when McAllister's not there, that massive drop off. Obviously, they get the result. And to be fair to Liverpool, I was pretty harsh on them last week after a great comeback. If they another one of these wins, if you can build the habit and the consistency at doing this, then they will have me convinced that they are in a title race. I just don't think that I'm not convinced it's sustainable the way they're doing it at the moment. Like, a Harvey Elliott screamer to get the 3 points.
Well,
like, I don't know. It's still a great win. Like, you can't.
It's a really good win again.
Like,
maybe I'm going the whole like one-eyed view because I'm really.
You're looking at it like you're kind of already convinced that they are that team.
Palace needed that game. You could tell from the start they were going into chant. They wanted
But that's
that
kind
win.
of telling where Palace
you're right, but
But that's more that the ability to go to a game like that, go away to a ground like that, to a team that's hungry for a win and needing a win, and having to come back the way they came back with players missing, with not things going right. And the way it also came together, that's a sign of a team that will continue to keep winning. They can go up against adversity, like we said.
Yeah.
Like I've said actually midweek, we didn't actually talk about it. The Arsenal game where they've come from behind with adversity against them and to produce something like that. That's as much.
I know, it's very hypocritical when I say it's about Liverpool and then I say the opposite thing about Arsenal. But it's like, but I just think I've seen a big enough sample size from Arsenal to sort of to be a bit more convinced that they will pull it out more often than not. And okay, I know Liverpool done it the last 2 weeks. But if they can do it over the next 6 months or 3 months at least to tell me that they're on the right path, and then in between that, batter teams, right? Like you don't want this every week.
Home form dominating away.
If this can be like if they can nick 3 points here and there, then they'll have me convinced. But I just need a big enough sample size. I need a bigger sample size.
I'm just not convinced purely on the fact that if you see the way they're playing, they come against any good team. I even think the likes of an Everton, I think they snitch points off them at this current moment in time.
In what way? What do you mean how they play?
I think if you go to any good team and continually go 1-0 behind, you're not going to just continually come back. They're coming back against currently teams that are... Yeah, but they came back and got a draw, dropping points.
Yeah, but it's...
Against Brighton, dropping
points. The point
points.
is they still come back and make something of a game.
But it's a lot different. You continually come back and get draws in comparison to getting wins. Right now they're getting wins, so that's why they're still in a great position. But you continually come back and get draws. It's a total different frame than what it is currently.
Yeah, but when they're getting draws against teams who they're competing against, then it's a good draw.
That's a win.
But are they competing against Brighton?
They're competing against
City. No, but at the start of the season, that's when Brighton was still actually in form.
And they're competing against
Yeah, but there's a lot of good... I'm not talking about just teams you're competing with. I agree there if you come away and get a draw, but... I'm talking about, I would say that there's a group of about 10... I would say there's a group of about 10 teams.
Obviously won a lot of games.
No, but it's, again, let's
not underestimate. They are top of the league right now.
Yes, but it's going back to the same thing we said last week. They're continually conceding the first goal. It is impossible for them to continue. They can win more games than everyone else by coming from behind. They've already got 18 points, I saw, which the next highest was 11. So 7 points on anyone else from losing position.
I don't think it's
you
sustainable.
can't continually do that.
Mate,
that's half of their points from losing position.
We see it in other sports all the time. Who won the AFL flag this year, right? You know what I mean? It's in like...
It's a bit different though.
Me and you agree it's unlikely.
It's a bit different.
But the way he's looking at it is that...
You've got to see the fact... And the thing is, I don't know how much you looked into the game, but the actual performance, the first half was slow, but the way they just fixed one thing, it was actually put Gomez in, take out the youngster, and putting Gakpo in that midfield, all of a sudden everything lit up.
Oh, I did watch the game, so I do understand
the performances haven't been poor. Like against City, I reckon they were good for a good 35, 40 minutes. It's not like if they were performing poor and winning like this, like we've said with Man United, like with Chelsea, then you're worried.
But it's not about performing poor. So my
point is, you keep saying they come from behind, but what if they get the first goal and put 5 past the team? They've already put 3 past the team.
But they're not.
Well, they have though.
But they're not.
Yeah, but they can.
They have a crazy goal difference in the top of the league. I think you're being harsh.
They got a crazy goal difference. They smashed
because they. That's what we're saying though.
That's what I've
I'm
told
not
them
convinced they're doing it enough.
So how many points? They got 37 points. Okay,
top of the league
18 of those points, which is basically dead on half, 1 point over half. So dead on half of their points are coming from losing positions. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying they can't win the league, but what I'm saying is, at what the current trajectory they're at, they can't win the league.
Because they're top of the
league. No, they can't. They will not go from their next 37 points
No, you
and
think,
get 18.
you think it's unlikely, but on their current trajectory, they will win the league.
To put it
because they're
simple,
top of the league.
we talk about City every year coming from behind. Is that not the same premise as Liverpool
City-
going from behind in every single game?
No,
City doing
no.
it on a season, Liverpool doing it game after game. So what's the difference? You always say, "Oh, City will just come through and win it."
It
You said
seems
before.
unsustainable. I agree with you on that.
Same as City,
but it's
seen
also
City
like
It's unsustainable. No, I don't agree it's unsustainable. Because you
Why?
see,
Because you've seen it happen. Why can't Liverpool go and do
but
it?
I didn't just see it happen from
Records
City.
are there to
I
be
haven't seen
broken.
it just happen from City. The best teams in the world.
They come from behind every single season. City start every year.
Yeah, but the
We
best
talk about
teams in
every
the
year.
world
they're gonna
always,
do it again this
always
year. Again this year.
best teams in the world. Whether you look at the Uniteds from back in the day, City now, all these different teams. If we're going to want to go to other leagues as well, we've seen Bayern do it so many times. All these other leagues, the best teams always come good in the January period and beyond.
So we haven't
Yeah,
seen
they
the
time
best
it
of
right,
Liverpool.
they time
You
it
reckon Liverpool aren't at their best yet, and we still
No,
got
I'm saying, but
January
like
to
the
come.
best teams, the ones that always win the league.
So
are
Liverpool
usually-
team that won the Champions League in the last 5 years, on the Premier League in the last 5 years, won every single domestic cup in the last 5 years. You don't reckon they're one of the best teams in the Premier League?
No, but I just don't
You
think.
delusional? Like,
No, I understand where you're coming from. But what I'm talking about is we're talking with City. You're talking about something that happens regularly, not just with City, with other teams.
Yeah, okay, I get that,
With Liverpool, you're talking about something that's never happened before. No one's. You're saying that they're going to go win on this trajectory, 45 points probably to 50 points from losing positions. That is
think
impossible.
if you can win games, especially like they did on the away from home, from coming behind, that because they're going to win most home games.
I'm saying if they fix the problem, which I think is not that hard of a fix,
Just
I'm
small
saying,
things.
but I'm saying at the current movement that they get do you think they can go get 45 to 50 points from losing positions?
with the way they play their football,
Well, they
I
need
do.
25 more.
The thing is, I'll finish up by saying this. If they stop conceding first and start winning this 1-0, 2-0, they've sacrificed their way they were going to play their football. That shows them U-turning. Because the way they play their football, they're going to concede goals. We've said this throughout
but it's
the whole
all right
year.
to concede goals. It's continually conceding first.
because
though.
they don't kick in. They just don't get going. And like the second halves have been on fire. The first half, the back ends of every first half, they've been ridiculous. It's the way they play their football. They're front-footed. They open.
No,
themselves
I
up.
understand that, and like genuinely week by week, they're making a case for
Stronger
it.
case, right,
definitely. But
yeah.
I just a bit like what Flynn said. I need to see this
Oh, I understand.
to believe it, and I'm right now not seeing it to believe it.
I'm just the devil's advocate in this situation. Mate.
No, you're right, and what you're saying completely makes sense. It has a lot of like basis to it. But what I'm getting at is we're 16 now. 16 games in? 16 games in. And we're talking about something that is unprecedented. You can't, 16 games in. If this was 25 games in and we're going, they only have to do it for another 13 games, I'd still be wary, but I'd go, you know what? They're mounting a case for it.
13. You said 18. I'm triple.
If they're 25 games in, only have 13 games.
I was thinking 18. Don't worry.
Okay, 13 games left.
I'm zoning out. I'm zoning out.
I'd still be wary. I'd still be
The
wary.
yap's zoning me out.
I'd still be wary, but the problem with the case you're mounting is you're talking about something that is unprecedented so early on.
As is most.
We'll let it play out. Let's let it play out. We'll let it
Great
play
segue
out.
to our next point. No. And obviously the big news was Salah's trying to goal again.
Yeah,
What a performance for
brilliant.
him back doing what he does best. We'll just skip through a game here. Brighton, Burnley, 1-1 there.
Mid
Mid-game. But you know what? Fair play to Burnley. They played on the counter
They
attack.
went 1-0 up, right?
They 1-0 up, yeah. Good goal as well from the youngster, the French guy there. And the next game, just a good.
The French guy.
Don't know his name. Do not know him. Never seen him play.
That's hilarious.
And that says a lot because I know most of the players. But the next
That's
game
funny.
was United, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
3-0.
Wow, what a result, eh?
Bournemouth, fair play.
I tweeted. I said, you know, pretty embarrassing, but look, you know, Ten Hag's only spent 500 mil. He signed a 100 mil right winger who's got 1 foot. And look, like he needs time, right? Manager of the month, deservedly. I reckon he signs a 5-year contract. And I think you guys will win all the trophies in the world, and every other fan base will be devastated. Get the pen and paper out because he's the guy.
Sign the team.
I just,
Sign the
Sign the
I
team.
don't want to
Ten
go
Hag
for. I
is
don't want to go for another 20
battered
minute
4-0 by Bournemouth at
rant.
home.
But-
You guys suck. Ten Hag out. And I'm an Arsenal fan.
You know what? Any single person that says Ten Hag out, I think is absolutely outrageous. It is just outrageous, and I'll still say it to this day, it's outrageous.
Outrageous because you just scraped a bunch of 1-0 wins
No, it's-
against bums. You play terrible football.
Yeah.
And you just got battered at home.
Talk about United, but I prefer to talk about Bournemouth. But let's talk about United. Do your video about United, but before.
Nah, I'm not going to rant about Ten Hag. That's my little.
What you're not getting is every manager that goes through, like it was with Arsenal, is making it harder for the next manager.
I don't even think we had a result that bad. I'm not even going to lie. 3-0 at home against Bournemouth, who are like 15th.
Don't worry about the fucking result, okay? Worry about every manager that goes by, it gets harder for the next manager.
I disagree. I disagree.
I don't disagree because
No one's had a harder job than David Moyes has. No one will ever have a harder job than Unai Emery had. I disagree with you on that. That's
why did no one have a harder job?
Because you're taking over a 25-year regime where they won gold trophies and 2 trebles. Like,
and it looks like the expectations haven't decreased.
Let's not debate about that.
The expectations haven't really decreased.
I don't think the job ever gets harder.
You're wanting to sack Ten Hag after last year and being 6th right now. So obviously the expectations haven't decreased.
All I'm saying is regression. What do you mean 6? That's regression. You've gone backwards.
I'm not disagreeing, but
your play style feels less obvious than it was last year. The players who were good okay, I know you've got injuries. Everyone has injuries, okay?
Actually, you know what? Everyone has injuries on that. Every team.
You're right, but you're going back and looking at the team. Moyes couldn't do it. Van Gaal couldn't do it. They're all having the same problems that Ten Hag had. You can't continually just go, all these managers are shit. Every single one of them, they're terrible. They're all employed by Man United and they're all terrible. I'm actually going to go back on my word on what I've ever said about Mourinho and all of them, and I don't think they should have been sacked either. I would agree with that. And I'm going back and saying, whether Ten Hag is the right or not right option, you have to stick with it.
Yeah, but your managers actually aren't that good though. You actually haven't you had Ole, who...
Okay, he was the one manager.
I reckon the most unlucky was Louis van Gaal. Winning a
cup
and
Louis
getting
van Gaal
sacked on a cup
was very stiff.
Is ridiculous. That's I'm
agreeing.
Mourinho was on the decline, and everyone knows that.
You know what, but as you saw with Arteta, and you're going to say, yeah, but we had the football, but he finished 8th 2 years in a row under Arteta. So I don't under Arteta, I don't care what football you played, you finished 8th, and you're going to go, yeah, but we got to the bottom of the barrel and we had to. Well, I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, but I say
we
this
can't just keep going 18 months in after probably Ten Hag has done better than any other manager since Ferguson at this point in time.
Irrelevant.
18 months in.
So irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Because you're already going backwards. You're 18 months in and you're going back. I go on about this so much. I personally think you have zero identity. I don't care if Arteta came 8th. There was such a clear plan, and I die on this hill. If you're going to have any success in the best leagues in the world, anything, if you're going to have any success in anything, you have to have a philosophy and you have to be willing to die on that hill, right? And in some cases, it'll cost you your job. But to be the very best, I'm not talking about relegation. Because relegation, I understand you have to adapt, try and do enough to stay afloat, right? When you're trying to be the best at something, you have to have a philosophy and you have to be willing to die on that hill. I think Arteta was willing to do that. He got the backing, I agree, but it's because I think he could convince the ownership and his superiors that he has this philosophy, right? Ten Hag doesn't instill me with a lot to think, everyone, you have to come along with me.
You go on about teams and they go, last year what they did. What you got to understand...
What has Ten Hag done to convince you he's going to take this team forward?
I saw enough football last year to convince me that when we have the right players...
But it's purely all last year. What have you seen this year to convince you?
When we have the right players, I think Ten Hag has a philosophy. Ten Hag right now is just playing survival football because he knows that he's at Man United, and if he doesn't finish... If Ten Hag did his philosophy with the players, you can't play what Ten Hag was trying when you have Harry Maguire at the back. This is what you don't get. You have to change your game plan.
Otherwise, you'll be player of the month.
Yeah, because he's playing to suit Harry Maguire.
No, I understand that, but
we'd be 15th right now. I guarantee you, we'd be in a worse position than Chelsea would be, and Ten Hag would be sacked if Ten Hag continued his philosophy.
Maybe you'd buy the bullet quicker because Ten Hag's not the guy.
He is the guy because I'll tell you right now, what he did last year, he shows with the players.
No one ever has the players. We talk about City right now. When KDB comes back,
but there's been 98% more hamstring injuries this year because of the World Cup, because of VAR. So every team.
But it's not about talking
that's
about
a true fact.
But it's not wrong.
The players Ten Hag last year, Ten Hag played players that he trusted. He played players that were his type of players. If you actually go look back at that starting 11, you had the likes of Martinez, and Varane. I don't know what's going on.
And
with
you
Varane,
might have come third last year. But you're telling me that that Liverpool team wouldn't have come above you, that Villa team wouldn't come above you.
No, the Villa team wouldn't. Liverpool would.
That Villa team who just beat us and City 1-0. What are you talking about?
And we beat you and City as well.
You beat us in a 3-1, which was unconvincing as, and then we beat you. Like
Yeah.
we
you
might
think
beat
you're
you.
not going to? You don't think you'll beat Villa out?
No, I think we might.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Then your point.
My point is that regardless, it wasn't the same. It was not the same league last year. What last year did was show you that if you try and stay afloat and adjust to your surroundings, then yeah, you can beat these teams. You can come 4th and 5th and 3rd and stuff, right? But you will never get close to the guys above you. You were nowhere near challenging us last year. You're 3rd, which means nothing when you lose by 2 lengths. It's like as in you were
finished 5 points behind you.
No, but you were never challenging.
Finished 5 points behind you.
Yeah, and we dropped off a cliff. It doesn't matter. You were never.
It's a 38 game
close.
season.
You were
Doesn't
never-
really
you were
bother
never
me.
close to us.
We could talk about it all day. Let's talk about managers
I know,
actually
thank
doing
God
things. Andre Riola's turned this Bournemouth ship around.
100%.
Fair play to him. I as the Bournemouth fan club and this sort of debate we had about Gary Neville, I stuck by him. What a turnaround he's made. They play like quality. They sit back. They exhaust some pressure, but similar to the way that Gary Neville plays, when they get the ball at their feet, they play some really nice football. Great goal. Solanke with a great goal, and that second half. As much as I'm back in trying to be one. Like we didn't look like scoring. They
could have scored. They could have scored more.
And they were that Billing goal goes to show that they pressed up high. Luke Shaw turns the ball over. Luke Shaw doesn't pick him up. Billing at the back post sneaks in for a goal. He's back again. We're talking about him a bit off there. How important he's been both ways for Bournemouth.
And Solanke, your guy Solanke.
I keep saying he's a top 5 striker in the league. I keep saying it. I'm going to live by it.
But Solanke,
he's a baller.
He's not as bad as I thought he was.
He's a very good player. And then up front as well, you've got Kluivert, Semenyo, Tavernier, Solanke. These front 4, again, not household names, but when you watch Bournemouth playing the way they're playing their football, they link the play up all 4 of those guys up front. And right now, it says a lot because it's United. But if you go beat United at Old Trafford, that's a feat in itself. Take away the whole context. That's still a feat for
No, beating United at Old Trafford 100% is a
and the way they
result.
battered.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a big result.
Yeah, it's
like
huge
I know how much that takes.
And for these small clubs to go there and get that feat, I reckon that just kicks them on. Like obviously, Everton's probably the form team of the bottom bunch, but I don't think Bournemouth are that far behind them.
I 100% agree.
They're having their own
power
Wolves
rankings.
run. Yeah, power rankings coming up. You know what? We can go straight into it now.
100%. Okay.
Power rankings are up. So this is power rankings.
Can you set the tone?
Yeah.
Because I'm scared.
We're all going to go through 20 to 1 on our own, then we'll just discuss it. I think it's the easiest way to go about it. So it's basically a little bit form-based, bit ladder-based, but how we sort of see them ranking up against each other to go and win a title. So
just don't peek at mine.
From 20th, I've got Sheffield United, then Burnley.
Shock.
And in 18th, unfortunately, Nottingham Forest, which I hate to say, but I put them there. 17th, Luton. I think I fixed up a little bit, but still a long way off. Palace and Brentford, who have just halted, it feels like, in recent weeks. Then West Ham in 14th. I think they've fallen off a cliff in terms of performances. To get 5-0 is pretty embarrassing. 13th, Wolves. They've sort of halted a little bit, but they've done well without Pedro Neto, so I'm giving them that. 12th is the high-flying Everton. I think they're playing some great football. Equally, number 11th is Bournemouth. I think I see more productivity out of that side. 10th, Brighton, who have been mid. Same as Chelsea in 9th.
Brighton have been so mid.
Same as United in 8th. So 10, 9, 8 are just mid clubs that should be higher. 7th is Fulham. They've turned it around. Back-to-back 5-0, 10-0 aggregate last 2 games. Very good. Paulinho, Pereira, and all those guys are putting together great performances. 6th is Newcastle. They're probably very high to be there, but I've seen enough. They beat United 1-0. They've played some solid Champions League stuff. 5th, Tottenham. Tough few weeks, but last night we saw that they did at their best there. That's someone who's dying by their own sword. Ange continues to play attacking.
100%.
Fair play to that. Villa 4th. They could be higher, but the established crew at the top. I've got City 3rd. Struggled to get over Luton. Beaten up by Villa. Outplayed by Villa. 2nd, Liverpool. Bit of favouritism there. I just sort of have to. I like what they're doing. And then 1's Arsenal. That's my power rankings. Match week 16.
You want me to go?
Oh, you can go.
So 20th, Sheffield United, followed by Burnley, then Forest.
Yep, so same.
So same? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
same.
Then Luton,
Same.
then Palace,
Same.
then Wolves,
No, different.
I got Brentford.
then Brentford,
Yeah, similar sport.
then Chelsea,
Whoa. Okay.
then Bournemouth,
Yep.
then Everton,
Yep.
then West Ham.
West Ham fan, yeah.
West Ham is still like 10th or
Are
11th.
you going to be able to put like a graphic up of this? Are you
try.
there yet?
Can try. It's gonna take
That'll help.
Followed by Brighton,
Yep.
then Fulham,
Where Fulham? Was that 8? Or was that 7?
You didn't put numbers. You're so Where's got a count?
8.
8. Okay, 8 for Fulham. So 5 and 7th. Yep.
Spurs 7th.
Yep. Wait, where?
Spurs 7th.
Okay, go.
Newcastle 6th.
Oh my God, Flynn.
United 5th.
Getting to explode.
Liverpool 4th.
Far out. The top of the league team.
Villa 3rd.
Yeah, right. Okay.
City 2nd. Arsenal 1st.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting. We'll talk about that in a little
Talk
bit.
about this in a sec. Okay, so I've
Flynn cooked for
gone
us.
exact same bottom four: Sheffield, Burnley, Forest, Luton.
Cool.
The only real surprise there, as we said, is probably not surprise. The only real like different is Forest.
Yeah, we didn't
Compared
expect
to the
them to be that
ladder.
low, yeah.
Yeah, should we quickly talk about Forest while we're there?
Well, yeah, let's go. Steve Cooper
Yeah.
keeps his job this week for a 1-1 draw. We might touch on the game. They didn't play too great.
Do you reckon his job's in trouble?
Sadly, it is.
I agree.
I'm someone who's
I
agree
I'm somebody
as
who
well.
rides by
Yeah.
Steve Cooper, but it just ain't working.
They
isn't it?
they gave him a lot last year,
Yeah.
like a lot of time, and it's just not really
And
going
he
well.
started the season off well, though.
Well, they beat Aston Villa. Everyone forgets they beat Aston
Mm.
Villa at home. So they've actually had some good performance in them. I just think the midfield doesn't connect with the forwards. Because their forwards, when they get the chances, are pretty clinical.
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs White, Alanga, whether it be Wood, Origi,
Taiwo.
and Taiwo. One of them up front. I think they're missing Ty. Whenever he's not playing,
Yeah.
it feels hollow. But do you reckon he survives? And quickly before we continue,
Who they got?
I can check it for you.
Nah, he won't.
He doesn't survive
They
till
don't
the
have
year.
they don't have the
They
time.
they
Not that-
really back him. They really back Steve Cooper.
The only
great
reason he
manager.
The fans love
survives
him.
is because they know for a fact he's
Bro,
not
they have
getting relegated.
Spurs Friday
Well,
night
don't know for a fact, but
at home.
they're not in like. I would still say they're not in a relegation battle.
Oh, I reckon they
Spurs.
would be. The way they
Okay,
would
so
play.
Bournemouth at home is a massive game.
Yeah. Oh, then they got Newcastle and United after that.
I don't think he gets a sack just purely because even up until March, you can get yourself out of a relegation battle just purely based off how bad the
That Bournemouth game is massive.
Massive. That decides.
Because they don't really care about the other ones. Like, it's like, oh,
They're
they're
going
not.
to
Yeah.
lose those games.
No, but because of how bad the bottom three are, they've got so much more time to play
You
with
say that, though. Luton have taken
about to say,
it to
so
all
7,
three
8th.
top 3 teams.
and taken barely any
So we've all got
points.
Luton above where they are, and
Yes,
that's purely because they're cooking at the
Because they're
moment.
absolutely
Like,
fire,
yeah,
yeah.
and you have to give them a bit of credit.
Yep.
16th, Palace,
Yeah, same.
same.
As well. Yeah.
Brentford,
Yeah,
15.
same.
I only have Everton 14, which I know maybe
I don't
sounds
mind it
low.
'cause,
You know that'd be 7th right now if they didn't have that 10-point deduction.
Seven.
Seven.
9th. Are that high?
Wow.
They're above Chelsea.
Wow,
definitely.
7th.
Well
Now
above
7th.
They're above West Ham.
13.
I thought they were
No,
ninth.
they would be 10th.
Oh, not, yeah, 10th.
So you were delusional, and it's all good.
Cool.
So I had them at 4. No, look, maybe that's a little bit unfair, but so above them, it's obviously a combination. So I got Bournemouth 13th,
Yeah, cool.
Wolves 12th, who I still think are just kind of plodding along.
Well, treading water by Neto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brighton 11,
Yeah,
who are
fair enough. They're
stinking the
rubbish.
gaff. Chelsea like still 10th, which is horrible for Chelsea. So nothing crazy there.
Yeah.
I've got West Ham 9th still.
Fair.
You say fell off a cliff, but I mean I reckon like they just beat Spurs. They got 1-1 against Palace, and then
against Palace,
and then before that they beat someone at home. Like okay, I know
They've lost to Everton. They've won one to
When was
Palace.
Everton?
Everton's good. I don't know.
When was
Losing
it-
to Everton
when was
now
Everton?
isn't a bad
Everton
feat.
was the start of the last month.
that was a while ago. Like they drew to Palace. Before that, then they beat
Informed
Burnley.
Everton as well.
Like then they
They
beat
weren't
Burnley,
the team, they weren't
and then they beat
informed
Forest. Look, I don't know. So I can't
No,
find
it's
this.
fair
Maybe
enough,
Everton was in there somewhere. But
Yeah,
like,
they lost
look,
Everton
West
at
Ham 9th. I don't think that's that bad. Where are they on the ladder?
The 10th, aren't they?
9th as well. Okay, so cool. I think that's honestly where they
Yeah,
fit. Fulham 8.
Yeah, back.
Like Fulham are
I'm
cooking,
loving
bro.
Fulham,
Like
yeah.
I was so skeptical on Fulham.
We were nervous. We were very
Yeah,
nervous. in
like I
Fulham.
was like, oh no, like this is not going
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But something's clicked there. They're looking really good. United 7 because they're mid as. Newcastle 6, Spurs 5 because
Spurs.
City 4.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna be honest.
Ballsy,
Like,
I like it.
you know,
Mid performance yesterday. Like
yeah, City 4.
rubbish.
Like we know how good they can be, but where they are right now, they've had a bad start to the year.
Yeah.
And City 4, Liverpool 3, Villa 2, Arsenal
Villa 2,
1.
I like it.
Which I know it's crazy because Villa just beat Arsenal, but I'm an Arsenal fan. So.
I think we can all give Arsenal number 1 because
I know,
we've
I know.
seen.
I was,
it, right?
yeah, nah. Look, I think we all see the light with Arsenal. They're going to win the leagues.
we all have clarity in that.
Villa, yeah.
I just don't.
So what were some of the shocks in there? Where do we all have Villa? Because that's one of the big
I had
talking
Villa
points.
4, you had Villa 2,
3.
you had Villa 3. So we all on the same
I just got a
squad.
question, and
Yeah.
this is why I put Tottenham so low.
Where'd you put Spurs?
7th.
Ridiculous.
How you put Spurs below United? How you
See,
put
I
United?
don't get this. I just don't get this. You guys have both put Spurs in the position they are based off the football they've played, not based off the points they're gonna get. And you've seen what's happening with their football. It is you guys are basing too much off points. Mourinho for ages.
It's basically your point. Tottenham have lost points in recent weeks.
Yeah,
It's based on what the performance has done.
Yeah, but the performance we've seen, they've got the injuries, so they're obviously not going to finish very high.
It's actually having a bad run.
They're not going to finish very high. After the injuries, you've seen it. They're going to drop so far.
Nah,
thing
4-1 against Newcastle is massive
They
though.
belted Newcastle hard.
That is huge.
Son sat down Trippier like 4 or 5
God.
Yeah, in
times.
one of the last 5 games.
Wait, just since we were rammed about
He's
Tribs,
been
he's been
played some
shocking,
poo
bro.
ball.
Like his last 3 games have been
Stinking.
horrible.
I understand what you guys are coming at, but what I'm saying is, you guys are putting Tottenham so high. If Tottenham were on 30 points right now, but they weren't playing this amazing football, you'd go, oh, they're like 7th or they're like 6th. But you're doing it based on their football, but football doesn't get you points.
This is the power ranking.
Pretty sure we just checked this, and let me just get a fact check. Pretty sure we just checked this, and Spurs are on more points than United.
And I play
And
better football.
after this, mid football, mid this and
But
that.
you've seen what
the
they're doing lately.
The team who
It's
has,
power rankings.
Yeah, but what
and
we've
yet
seen,
whatever you're saying makes no sense because Spurs have more points.
I guarantee
and
you on
play better
Sportsbet
than you.
right now, United will be more favourites to win the league than Tottenham are.
ridiculous. No
Yeah,
chance
and
now.
sportsmen don't get every single thing right.
But it's purely based
No,
on the
no,
fact
no.
United
They went to City and drew 3-3. They
what
beat
were you-
Newcastle 4-1.
what were you saying? What were you
United
saying?
lost to
the
Man
United
City
would,
3-0.
I would be confident that United will be more of a chance to win the Premier League than Tottenham
put
are
it
right
simple,
now.
the last-
No, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'm happy.
This guy's an idiot, bro. Spurs are 41-1. You're 251-1.
So what? 8 times.
Waffler. That just shows
His
you
ball knowledge- his
ball
all
knowledge
that
is
shows is
What
how,
is Newcastle then?
all that shows is how they're 200-1. All that shows is how biased you are and how not only do the bookies have access to a billion more stats than you and do the stats thing 10 times better, but they also just know that you guys suck and they price Spurs at 5 times better chance to win the league than you.
I don't get that, honestly.
So you're just biased. Like,
How am I biased?
How much more evidence?
I put
do you-
Newcastle above them.
Todd, simplify it for you. Let me simplify it for you. Man United 0, Newcastle 1. Man United 0, Man City 3. Tottenham 3, Man City 3. Tottenham 4, Newcastle 1.
What else do you want to know
they're
though?
continually losing games in the last 5
So
weeks.
it's power rankings. They have more points than you, and they played a
Better
billion
football.
times better than you. And yet
What
you
is
think
better
that
points in the last 5 weeks? I don't care about how
And,
good
and,
you
and,
play.
and out of context,
God.
totally out of context, they've gone through the worst injury crisis imaginable.
Yo,
and they've had tough fixes. They've had
And they've gone out of it and they've
City.
only dropped 3
Mourinho,
positions.
Conte, Sarri, all won Premier Leagues playing terrible football. No identity, nothing.
Because you're anti-football. You don't like Liverpool. You don't like Tottenham. Like, you hate football?
No, I don't hate football, but football doesn't get you necessarily points. And we've seen that by Tottenham. As soon as they lose the players they
But
need.
clearly, in this case, it gets more points than
The
what
Man
you
United,
do
yeah.
because
Sitting
they're
back.
on more points than
They're
you.
not. As soon as they've had the problems like
They're
United.
not.
They're not.
No.
They're not. No, wow.
Not in the
Sure
last
they're not.
5 weeks, they're not.
But they are in general.
Okay, can you let's go through what I'm
I
trying to
don't
say
care.
today's whole
I
day.
don't- no, can we just stop waffling
Why
about
can we
United? I've had
let's
enough.
disregard United for a second and let's talk about Newcastle then. Okay, yes, they lost to Tottenham, but let's go through the facts. Tottenham, we have seen, and this was our biggest problem on Tottenham the whole year, that as soon as they get these injuries, they're not going to be able to continually pick
They've
up
come
points.
out of it
And then
already.
they
They've
just
already got
spanked
everyone
out of
back.
it.
And they just
They've got
spanked-
Basuma, Pap Sarr back, Romero back. Their back four is
So they're
basically
not
the
out
same.
of it, but they just spanked Newcastle 4-1. So imagine when they are.
They're going to
out
have
of it.
games,
Wow.
but they're not going to be. A lot of their players aren't back till after January.
Mate,
What are you
the
trying to
starting
say?
11's basically back.
Like-
Other than Madison, everyone's back now.
Keep talking about
and the
form as
centre-back.
well. You keep talking about form. You just got battered at home 3-0 against Bournemouth.
But why are we using United? in
That's
this?
more to
Don't
my
worry about
point, though.
United.
That's more to my point.
I'm happy for you
So
to put United below.
So you're
below
missing,
Tottenham,
in
but I
my
think
eyes, the most.
Tottenham isn't.
You're missing, in my eyes, arguably most 2 important players, but I think they're basically back because they've got their group that is used to playing a style of football. And the first game back that these players have all had together, they went and spanked Newcastle 4-1.
And do you know what a massive thing about having a team identity is? It means that, okay, you might sub in play, you might have injuries,
But you play the same way.
but everyone's playing the exact same way. That's the problem with you guys. Is that, you rely so much on your injuries because you rely on personal brilliance and elite players to allow you to perform. And this just gets me back to Ten Hag,
All right,
Well, not
let's-
really. We had an identity last year, but yeah, continue.
with good players.
Let's go into a few of the other. We'll skip over the next two here. Sheffield United 1, Brentford 0. Wilder gets his first dub. Big for Sheffield United.
Bang, bang.
Beat Brentford. Brentford, as I said, stagnating out a little bit. Wolves 1, Forest 1. We sort of talked about it a bit before, but keeps Cooper in his job for the next few weeks. And Wolves, once again, a bit unlucky not to get 3 points. The next one is the big one. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal.
I don't
nil.
know. Might just have a little cry.
Yeah.
Nah, look, I mean,
What a game.
I know.
Entertainment-wise, it was very
I just think
good
it is. I
watch.
just think Martin Odegaard, like,
The guy. Okay, so here we go. I'll come back to you in a bit. So we talked about this basically at the start of this, once the season ended last season, we talked about a lot about this, about like Martin Odegaard, his importance. You talked about a lot this season, his goal scoring.
I've also said a lot just on this. I've also said like a lot, like you don't really agree, well, not necessarily disagree, but it's like, I've just highlighted, I think he goes a little bit disappearing in big games.
And that's what I'm coming to here. Like I think, I still stand by, he's a big player in big games, and I think he's one of the reasons why you go and win these big games. But in recent, let's say last month or so, it's been really highlighted his lack of maybe output.
Yeah.
He's still apparent in games. I don't think
And he's still getting in the spots.
He's in the spots. He's getting the chance. He's setting plays up. But I think in this game, Arsenal just were a little bbit toothless in the final third. The fact that missing the final third, the pass in the final third, not quite creating the angles, not getting unlucky as well. I know that the Havertz one's super unlucky. It bounced off everyone's hand.
Yeah.
To go in.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I still think we're a little bit robbed of like at least a point.
The penalty as well.
Because I think the pen and the handball, like I think are super unlucky that neither of those go our way.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I think we could have easily won that game.
The thing is though, before you go on, like you got to look a little bit at if you're a champion team, you got to look at yourself a little bit before you look at that, because realistically, Saka and Odegaard could have scored early. It could have been 2-1.
No, I don't disagree 100%. That's why I'm like not super reactionary about we lost, because every team loses, right? Like it's not going to go your way every game, 38 games, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when both our losses this year are arguably, you can make massive claims that like VAR or the refereeing decisions have cost us at least a point. I think both those games it has, but that I still believe that goes around, right? So yeah, when we look at ourselves, I think okay, Odegaard has missed like 2 sitters, and it's just massive. Like I just think the amount of times last year I've seen him bury both of those, and he gets 2 goals against Bournemouth or against Wolves or against Burnley, Luton, and Sheffield. Yeah. He did that repeatedly last year, where he scored 2 and they'd be both identical goals. And it's just like, Martin, as the club captain, when so many players around you, like Decky Rice, for example, so you got so many leaders around you who are performing so well, leading from the front. He's just not had the best start to the year. But credit where credit is due, and you were massive on this. Villa did what they had to do, scored early, and defended well, and soaked up some pressure.
Massive on that.
That's
about them.
I'm not gonna. We lost, but we lost against a very good team who are in amazing form,
well managed,
and who are legitimately not in a title race per se, but
contender.
They are a title challenger at the moment, and they are someone who could potentially who are going to take points at the big clubs, as we've seen. So look. You can look at it both ways. Arsenal fumbled the bag a little bit, but Villa, I mean, geez, what a week they've had.
2-1 nils. But the thing I based on the video I put up last night, it was what impressed me the most, and why I think they're amongst that title group, is that they won in 2 different ways. And that's something that we've talked about a lot with Arsenal this season. Still haven't gone and battered the team fully yet, but they've had games where you dominate games to win. Same as Aston Villa versus Man City out of all the teams. They dominated them and won that game. Then they go into you guys, a great opening 15 minutes where they put you guys under the pump, push you back in the edge of your own third, and they scored the goal. Again, Leon Bailey being involved here, and John McGinn, my hero, John McGinn.
I mean, tell you what, Leon Bailey, okay, I know you really don't like John McGinn and Louise and stuff. Leon Bailey's revitalisation under Unai has been nuts. This guy was so bad at the start of last year.
Invisible.
And was playing a fair bit, and his output now is just insane.
Don't you reckon his positioning as well? He plays out as like a left
more
forward.
direct, way more direct.
Yeah.
He was just in such it was just all cooked under Gerrard. But yeah, man, Leon Bailey has been nuts.
It's super impressive how he's got the best at every single play. Obviously he knows power.
Yeah.
Emmy does what Emmy does. I think Watkins does what Watkins does. But everyone else, he's just elevated their game. And I keep saying it because I keep referring back to Gerrard. As much as it was hell, I think it's benefited their team in so many ways. And the fact that they can play that style, now they can play this style. So your whole midfield 4, that little diamond they've got with Tillemans in there.
And they've got those men in there like McGinn and stuff.
McGinn can be a CDM, but he can go and score a goal.
McGinn's...
Tillemans has played for less. He can defend, but he can also be the edge of the area.
I hate McGinn, just because I
love that guy. No, but super impressive in the way they won 2 different ways in the space of 3 days. They win at home, 15 in a row at home. as much as Arsenal were, I think one of your better performances. I think you just hurt yourself. And Villa just looked at the more ready side, if you know what I mean. Like they were there to absorb pressure. Emmy made some big saves. Martin missed his chances. Saka missed his chances. You get a bit unlucky. The big thing though, I feel like every week there's always some controversy with Arsenal, like handballs, dodgy calls, stuff like that. It's like,
maybe it's because Mikel just always moans, but to be fair, I feel like they have a bit of merit.
But I'm saying it seems to follow you guys. I don't think you want that as you sort of go into the back in the seat. You'd rather have either clear-cut losses or
clear-cut wins. You just want to be under the radar. Like another result. Another result. Like, which was City do so much.
Yeah, especially. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you're not too upset though with the result.
No way. Like, as in, oh man, I hate AFTV, bro. Like, it's just so stupid. Not good enough, this. It's like, come on, guys. You're not going to win every game. No. Like, you're going to Villa Park.
15 in a row.
Go there 14 in a row. Like, and you lose 1-0 in a game you could have won. Like, okay, look at some positives.
Yeah, no.
But nah, look.
And Mikel wasn't even on the sidelines, but I think that's going to be some part of it as well.
Yeah,
mate,
100%.
Last year.
Airport Albert.
Yeah.
I love airports. Look.
Big
we
win
lost.
For Villa.
We have...
You got an easy one this weekend, I'm sure.
We have... Look, it's all leading up to the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
that's the one.
You got Brighton at home.
Brighton at home. And then we have, I think, Liverpool
Anfield.
At New Year's Eve.
So Liverpool's got United and Arsenal. So probably going
in
back on our point,
so in
2 weeks' time, I might have them as if they get 6 points from that.
I'll put a crown on my head. I'll sit here and just say,
if they get 6 points from that, massive.
I also think
are we
away?
Zero.
You're away. Yeah, Anfield. That's a tough place. You're going to have Villa and you'd have Liverpool
I
away.
still think they can get 0.
Are we going to stream that?
If it's a reasonable hour, yeah, definitely.
1:30.
Are we streaming this week?
We'll
United Liverpool.
We might find
Can we please do the Arsenal Liverpool game 1:30?
Yeah.
We'll do that.
It's 12:30 United Liverpool.
It's 1:30. Sorry, Arsenal.
Should be right. Yeah.
Anyway,
we're waffling.
But that is a massive game.
Yeah, massive game. Yep. Let's go to the next one, which is also a massive game in the terms of the context of the season. Everton 2, Chelsea 0. I watched all 90 minutes since I was engaged from start to finish because we've been lucky.
I really love this game. I was
fuming.
I was fuming about Chelsea.
Well,
because they just can't score. Yeah, maybe.
Poch, man. Poch is
like... put money on Chelsea to win?
No, I had a multi on, but when it was going really well at the time, and then Chelsea was just destroying.
Started to play football. And
I was going nuts. I was just like...
This is the same thing with Chelsea, man. We'll touch on Brighton a little bit as well. They have a shit ton of possession. Like, it is the most meaningless possession. Like
Who, Brighton?
And Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
All these teams just pass it around like they own the ball. Every time they lose it, they just forget how
Chelsea just have no idea how to score. It's just unbearable.
I still got this question, and I propose it every week. How long does Poch have?
A while.
But what is a while?
So you're sticking by it because I was with
So you reckon he's got the whole season?
Poch will be there 100% of the year.
The thing is,
I'm not saying he won't be, but do you think at this current trajectory he'll be there at the end of the season?
100%. They could fit.
He'll finish 12th and they'll keep him.
I don't know if they'll...
Okay, here's my question to follow up.
I think they will. I honestly think Poch could finish 10th.
Let's play a fun game of who's here in 3 years. Robert.
That's a long way.
Yeah, 2 years. Who's here in 2 years? Robert Sanchez. Here in 2 years, yes.
At Chelsea.
Just thumbs me up or thumbs me down. Is he here in 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. Desassi.
Yes.
Kukurea.
No.
No. Badiashile.
No.
Yes.
Reece James. Bro,
yes.
hamstring again.
Yes, but he'll be there. He'll just be in the medical room.
Traded. Oh my god.
Reece James.
Are we going to talk about FPL in this
We'll do FPL a little bit later, but yeah. But Reece James, this is the one L I've had, I reckon, big L.
I thought you were going to go with this stay or go managers. I thought that's what you were looking at.
No. I'm just doing like this team. Reece James, yes, obviously. Enzo. I think he might be gone because he might force his way out. He wants out.
In 2 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
How young is he?
21.
22.
Nah, down. Thumbs down.
Mudryk.
Sucks.
Cole.
I mean the war, mate. Cole.
That's cool.
Cole will be there.
Cole will be there. Gallagher.
Gags will be there.
You reckon?
Nah.
Yeah, I think Gags will be there.
He might be like a passion merchant.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a Milner.
Caicedo.
Well, yeah.
Gee, he better be worth it.
They haven't spent so much on this midfield. They're going to
Brozier.
Nah, Brozier won't. But I rate him.
That's starting 11. Let's take a few from the bench. Jackson.
Nah.
Colwell.
Yes.
Nah.
Raheem.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
But
Yeah, yeah.
honest-
Aim will be that.
I know what you guys are saying, but I just want to hear another person's perspective on. So you've looked at Chelsea, and you're going to say, yeah, but they've already gone through that. But what is any different to what they're doing right now as what Potter did?
No, Potter had more points. They generally had more
Oh
points
no,
this time
the
last
reason.
season.
Do you mean as in the reason why I think Chelsea, why he will still be there,
Yeah.
is because I think
They are so
the
bad.
management would be like, oh, Ted Bolly will be like, or Todd Bolly rather will be like, Ted Lasso, mate. Nah, Todd Bolly will look at it and be like, oh wow, we saw what we did with getting rid of Potter. Like, you know, that didn't work. So let's do the opposite. Let's persevere this time.
Yeah.
And you know,
Isn't that just being
let's not.
hypocritical on everything you said about United then, though?
This is different, man. This is crisis.
I've seen the amount of managers you listed off about what United do. I know United will sack him, and I'm not saying whether Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag should be sacked. I think he will be sacked. But I'm saying with Chelsea, will I think they persist with Pochettino? I think yes, because I
Chelsea
think
got a more cutthroat, in my opinion, than United are.
it's not Roman anymore, man.
Different
We've seen
brother.
Todd try and be cutthroat.
Yeah,
I
didn't
think
work.
he's going to adapt. I think he changed his transfer strategy already, which he did.
Big
He
if,
targeted.
but yeah.
But Poch was as much
questions
as
everything.
as much as you say like all this stuff, like Poch is still a really highly respected manager, and it's just a play.
And Poch is not Potter.
No,
Poch,
and
yeah.
Poch came out and said this is the first time all season he said yesterday he was disappointed, and there's going to be
He's touched the tree. He's touched the. As I think the moment he's already locked down, he's already gone and started abusing the players and going, we don't have good enough players. We got to touch the transfer window. We got to do this.
I know, because
he's already based off that comment there. He's already got players in his team, and you're gonna go, no, he doesn't. But he brought in Caicedo, he brought in Sanchez, he brought in Cole Palmer, and I understand
Sanchez
that's only
not bad.
three people.
He's okay. Like-
no, but I understand. But that's only
Palmer's
three.
was their best player.
You'll
Like,
see the
What are
strategy.
you talking about? Palmer
You'll
was
see the
the best
strategy
player.
will change a little bit though, because as much as he developed youngsters at Tottenham and stuff like that, they're going to bring in some older heads because you can tell it just needs someone. Whenever Thiago Silva plays, and whenever he's playing good, it impacts the team. There's no leadership in that team. There's a bunch of young guys running around with zero confidence,
Literally, just
zero
running around.
form, and they're just passing the ball.
Bro,
That's what-
Mudryk
I
just
just
sprints down the line.
hate the
you can.
way you're approaching it.
What do you? What?
But how am I?
So I'm okay.
Watch Chelsea.
They do nothing. They can't score. I don't care what
Yeah.
you do at the back. Anyone can pass the
He
ball around the
can't
ball.
fix the way they can't score goals. That's the player's fault. That's not his fault.
No,
He-
they literally
He's got
suck
them
in
playing
front of goal.
possession. They're playing
But
70%
so do a lot of
plus
other
possession.
teams suck in front of goal.
No, but a lot of other.
So
teams
you blame
don't.
other managers for other people sucking in front of goal. You're saying
Like,
that.
so why don't you sack every
So
mid-table manager?
so Brighton. So De Zerbi should be gone. Bloody.
I do think if, like, for example,
You're telling me De Zerbi. You're not.
no,
saying that.
I will say, like, I don't want to touch on him 100 times again, but I will say if the continual lack of goals from United happens, Ten Hag deserves the sack as well.
That's the same thing. Like at the start of the season, Iriola should have been sacked because Bournemouth weren't scoring any goals, getting battered. But
It's
now
a bit different though. They're Bournemouth. With you,
I'm simplifying it down to because all you're saying is what you're saying to me is because they're not scoring goals, he should be sacked.
no, but there's
Chelsea
no connection
were
as
arguably
well.
the better team last night. I'm going to be honest.
Chelsea
Like,
are the better team in most games they play.
What happened?
yeah.
What
Which
happened
is
against-
not what you guys
just
are.
games like against United and stuff cannot be happening though.
Okay, that's a bad game. Every other game though,
the game where they should have beaten us. The game where they should have
Yeah.
beaten like City. Like, what are you talking about?
they play the better
Bro just
football
picks and
because that's what
chooses,
Pochettino can teach him.
How?
He can't
You're
teach him how to
picking
score.
and choosing.
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm
saying
not.
that Poch football is decent.
Well, it is because they
It's not.
outplay.
When you have, it's no.
You put
The
Tammy
difference-
Abraham in
and
the side.
Okay, there's so
night and day
much
difference.
difference here.
Night and day difference.
There's so much difference. Firstly, it's 16 games compared to
54.
Can we not bring him back into it? If
No,
you're gonna bring
no,
him
no,
You
back-
but-
said I'm being hypocritical.
But you are.
Against, how am I supposed to bring him, the unspoken
The
name?
man that cannot be
do
said.
Not, do not name him.
Oh, because I just
What
get
do you
abused
mean?
every time.
What do you mean? How much? You said I'm being hypocritical.
See, I'm not bringing anyone into it. I'm just telling you the facts as it is. They outpossession every team. That's Pochettino's style of football. The midfield battle, they win most weeks. They don't get overrun.
They remind me very much of Louis Van Gaal.
Yeah, you're bringing someone back into it. I'm telling you what it is.
I brought a different person. Not that one.
No, I'm just bringing it. That's Chelsea. They have Mudryk. They have Sterling who like
He's
to
saying
run.
like reasons why you would persist with Poch.
Yeah,
Because
and
he's showing
the
this.
reason is their front three can't score. And I saw a great thing the other day. If they still have Tammy Abraham, I reckon this team has 5, 6, 7, 8 more points.
They also have like, they also
finisher up
really lack like genuine like good creative chances through 10.
And you know what? And they have something that we talk about, that I like to talk about a lot. My winger that isn't just going to score goals, that actually will set things up, because their wingers are just, those guys are just cutting.
Well, if Cole
setting it up for the
Cole
invisible man?
actually plays on the wing and they're getting Kunku back, the amount of chance creation goes up a million times. Like Raheem, bro, Mudryk just sprints.
He just
and
holds on
whips the ball in and like prays to find someone. And he's trying to find Raheem Sterling.
And we saw his goal. It was a cross that ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, like Mudryk is so
and Raheem's a goal scorer. He's
I've actually been watching a bit of Chelsea lately, and I just don't see what you mean.
Chelsea did not suit Raheem at all. No,
they get the ball, they pass it around, then
minutes.
they might get the ball and they might get it to a winger who puts a ball in the box. The ball in the box goes nowhere, and then they pass the ball around and their goalkeeper.
Fault?
Because they're lacking.
The ball into the box sucks.
But I don't think their football is that good. Like I think teams are letting him have it out wide if you actually watch it.
I think teams are definitely playing.
That's a strategy because the players suck.
So I actually think they have space to pass it there. Like I don't think Poch is like this mastermind.
That's not Poch's fault that they're.
I don't think they're playing this. Like at least when you talk about teams like Tottenham, I can be on your back and go, you can see their type of football. I don't agree with Chelsea. You can see their game.
You can't see Chelsea the football.
No, I can see it. They're playing possession football, but they don't have there's a difference between playing possession football and possession football like Tottenham play possession football and City play and Arsenal play.
They play more possession than all of those teams.
I also think it's 16 games in.
No, but you're not getting what I'm saying. They play more possession, but they do nothing with the possession.
Chelsea are very pretty solid defensively, right? I know they're kind of leaky for goals, but their XG conceded is real low because they're like pretty stable. They're building up. They're 16 games into a new project, right? And it's like, okay, as we see within all these teams, the last thing to come when you're building a stable team is like chance creation, right? They're trying to get there. They're trying to score goals. But when you're trying to build from the ground up, it's like the last thing that's going to come. Okay, Ange's the reason why Ange's so unprecedented because he's doing it the other way around. Yeah. He's like, screw it. We're going to try and score as many goals as we can, right? And that's why it's so shocking to everyone because it's like, wow, new manager, he's got these guys scoring so many goals. Son's back, you know what I mean? As him, that's why I get so many headlines.
I don't think different. Someone getting the ball and having 65 possession a game.
Okay, so let's see in a year's time then if they're not creating any chances. Yeah, I'm all Poch out. But I'm saying it's so early, Tots.
No. I get you're saying it's so early, but them getting that's no different. At least the identity you look at with City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and you're going to go there for so long. But even Arsenal at the start, when they were we
definitely struggled to score goals at the start. We had no identity.
You saw what you were doing. Chelsea aren't creating Chelsea aren't doing it with the ball. They're actually like to see their passes
they're 16 games in, trying to understand how the runs work.
But at least try to play forward.
Oh, where's he going to run?
At least play forward ball.
They try
to summarize it up, because this is why I see it. Their creativity, their skill comes from inside, in the centre. Yeah. Enzo, Gallagher has been playing actually decent this season. You've got Castell in there. All their good players in the middle. What teams doing, like you rightly said, one of you said, teams overload the midfield, crush the midfield. It gets congested. You force balls wide, right? And you've got two guys that just run in Mudryk and Sterling.
So, yeah.
End product lacks, and you're a striker whose confidence is there, nothing, not available. You're missing, again, your most creative player in Kunku, and you're playing Cole Palmer in that position.
You're also playing Colwell and Kukurea at fullback.
Sterling, who won 5 Premier Leagues. And Mudryk,
Sterling, who won 5 Premier Leagues, being the out-and-out winger.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, man. You're not listening to the point I'm trying to make. They're two wingers that don't create. They're goal-scoring wingers. You need someone to create. And because they're overloading the midfield, teams overload the midfield. The midfield battle is so congested against Chelsea.
And teams
Nottingham Forest did it so well. They put Ryan Yates and they put the centre-back Murillo pushed in there. And they just congested the midfield. And then Chelsea are stuffed. And what happens is they throw numbers forward and you get him on the counter-attack. Because Thiago Silva's 39 years old and you've got Reece James basically playing as a right winger. So there's no defensive coverage. And that's how you beat Chelsea.
But we're supposed to trust the process. Everton, who Sean Dyche has been there for about 2 minutes, is doing better. Bournemouth, who look what they're doing.
Because here we go. Here's the word again. Sustainable. Can Sean Dyche continue to win games on the counter-attack versus teams? No. But can Pochettino work this way through the midfield possession style of football, get a winger, can cross the ball?
Why no, though?
This is you saying why. This is why no to Jurgen Klopp winning the league then.
That really is so.
It's so hypocritical.
But there's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying it's very unlikely. It's extremely unlikely.
It plays into my point with Poch now. So like you say, why can't Dyche do it? Then why can't Klopp do it? Then why can't
Dyche
Pochettino
can, but it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah,
as
like
you said.
what's
But I'm not
your
saying
point?
Dyche is going to go get like lots and lots of points, but it
Well,
wouldn't
now
be,
you're backtracking,
it
now
wouldn't
you're
be
stepping-
unprecedented. Dyche has done it before when he's gone and finished 8th with
And
Burnley.
then got relegated and got the sack.
Blood's waffling.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know if he would have got relegated if he didn't get the sack. I don't think he would have.
Well, regardless, they went from 8th to relegation zone
With
with
a
8
team
games
that was
to
the
play.
worst in the
Like,
Premier League for years after years, like the squad. He was overperforming every year.
and he had a good 8-week, like, had a
You
good
see what he
season.
does with a bit of a better team. Like Everton's probably got a bit of a better squad now than he ever did at Burnley.
Dyche is a good manager.
He's a decent manager.
Yeah, so cool. So what are we arguing about then?
My whole point wasn't does Pochettino have the ability. My whole point was if he's 12th at the end of the year, he's getting the sack.
I disagree.
I disagree. All right, next
But
few
that's
games.
a management thing.
Obviously, props to Everton as well, killing it. But we talked about them in the
100%,
power
yeah.
rankings.
Yeah,
they've been
yeah,
killing
they're
it.
good too.
Yeah, they're decent. 2 to win, yeah, right. Fulham 5, West Ham 0. I could go run over this, but Fulham
I didn't watch
looking good again. I watched the condensed
mini match.
condensed match. Really good. Once again, Paulinho, one of the balls here for the opening goal. He's killing it. Jimenez is scoring. I've been slandering him a lot.
When I saw the notification, I was like, Raul, you're
he's
alive.
back. he's here. He's here. He's scoring goals.
Someone told me you was dead.
That'd be perfect. Look that meme up. Nah, they dominated again. Andreas Pereira, Paulinho.
That guy, Alex Iwobinho. What you talking about? Iwobinho,
He's
lad.
playing on the wing
I
again.
don't even
right
know
wing.
when he went to Fulham, if I'm going to be completely
Bro,
honest.
he is. I don't know how he's got
They
a job.
picked up everyone.
bro.
They've got what Castagna. Those people all like the relegation to the guys.
They got
And
Willian back.
Back
Like, that was
somehow.
the craziest
The fact
thing.
he's still there is ridiculous. I don't know how they've
I
swindled
know.
back.
What is this?
Marco Silva deserves some respect as well. The fact he's turned it around.
Yeah, I was fully on the. I was like,
thought they
I
were
was
relegated.
scared.
I
I was
was-
really scared.
I thought
Fulham was
relegated,
scaring me.
but like a part of that four.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
that would have been the Forest.
I did not expect them to be like where that. Like, yeah. Nuts.
They're pushing top off, and West Ham once again they're just a mixed bag right now. Bit of a smarty.
Just
don't know
the
when they're gonna
mid-table
pull out.
team.
Yeah, up and down. But 5-0 is bad, man. That's
No, that is
for
really
a
bad.
team that's really good defensive or supposed
They've
to be
been
good defensively
bad. They've been really bad defensively this year, which is like
against their identity, right? Against their always identity. Luton 1, Man City 2.
Bit of a scare.
Do you watch this?
I didn't watch this
It's
game.
Man City fanboy. No, oh, I don't watch it.
Nah.
It's Man
What
City.
was the other game on at the same time?
Everton, Chelsea, right? At the same time.
Maybe, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I watched
yeah,
Everton
yeah,
Chelsea
watched that one. Yeah, yeah. Man City still don't look good. They're not playing good. They're just winning. Well, they won. Sorry, they're not winning. They just won. I think it's one of those wins again that you look back if they hypothetically win it. These sort of games, the ability to come back from behind to win a game like this.
Yeah, there's sort of two ways this City thing can go. It can either be like, okay, like every other year, like, yeah, they were just doing enough to stay in their conversation. And then when they timed their own, they clicked and they went on to win the league. It could be that. Or it could actually be genuinely like...
They would never be good the rest.
Yeah, mate, it could genuinely be like, okay, actually, this was the fall off from City. City,
It's the start of...
City did it all.
Yeah.
And that's the two ways this will go.
Obviously,
it sounds dumb, but that is just like...
Everyone talks about Rodri last week because of his absence and the loss. I also want to talk, like, obviously KDB is going as well, but I think someone who's very, very important that's missing is Ilkay Gundogan, who's scoring.
Yeah, I think it's a great
for
goal.
FC Barcelona as well.
100%.
That creativity in the midfield, and I talk about Villa, and I'm loving this Villa midfield, but as hard as it was me to say, I admit I used to love Gundogan playing as well because he's someone that is in the mould of what McGinn and Luiz doing this year that can win it back defensively, can score goals, can get in the edge of the area, can create. And as much as Julian Alvarez can be a nice number 10 and stuff like that, and you've got these Bernardo Silva begging midfield, it's not Gundogan. Gundogan and Rodri, I think, is almost the most unbeatable midfield duo.
Yeah, Gundo, massive. You're not wrong.
It's a massive loss.
Massive
and
miss.
I always talk about almost like February, March.
I was about to say, you
Gundo,
always say,
I love that.
Jan, Feb, March.
Yeah.
Literally, though, it's like,
Where he just scores 8
You
games.
sort of lost that. They have, that is on that whole like January sort of
The turnaround.
turnaround period.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they've lost a part of like they've lost a bit of the pulse there in the sense that, like you're not going to have that same, re-energization where you're going to gain a bit more. Like that's not there. You're not going to get those goals.
You're just
like,
hoping it's going to be KDB
you're
coming in and
hoping-
changing that. But normally,
KDB is definitely
obviously
a massive
he's going
one
to change that. But then it's going to fall on the likes of Rodri to become that sort of.
Bernardo Silva scoring a
Goal
little
scorer.
bit more. I think
goal,
the
yes,
numbers would tell you he's scored
yeah.
a few more goals. He's
Yeah.
having a bit more impact, which is like not what he hasn't had to do the last few years.
Normally, he's
So-
a guy that goes under the radar because he doesn't get the numbers because he's just sort of feeding the one before, the pass before. But I guess,
they are lacking in the goals department. Like
well, yesterday the goal came from Alvarez winning the ball back. Like that, I know City turn the ball over, but they don't normally win the ball back and then score. That's more of like an Arsenal or a Tottenham or like that sort of type of football. They normally just pass it around you. It's different types of goals. It's actually both are one-off turnovers.
No Mahrez, no Gundo. That is so. They were both
Underrated
Like
Prem
Mahrez
balls.
was a goal. He was a goal
Mahrez
scorer,
didn't play much last year.
and he was a goal scorer. I'm saying.
I
I'm
think
saying
people
he's over the
underrate
last few
Mahrez's
years.
impact.
No one's
Yeah.
underrating him, but I just think that his impact last year was a bit.
I'm just saying, like historically, like over the last few years,
He
we've seen him
hardly
in dominant.
played, Preston.
Over the last few years, okay, when Mahrez.
Yeah, he was a very good player, but
Whenever he did play, though, that's
Mahrez
winning games, the
scored
football's
goals,
so
right?
important.
Yeah,
Gundo scored
definitely,
goals.
definitely.
Now they have wingers like Grealish,
Different wingers, man.
who Grealish could be that winger when you have the goals around him.
Yep.
Now it's like you need you're needing more output from this guy because
He
you
needs some
have.
goals.
to be honest, he just went and scored. So
No, I know,
But he's been 26
his
games.
first
I think.
goal in
Yeah.
something like ridiculous
Yeah.
like that. You
Yeah.
know, so
We're not saying the Grealish that we were used to saying.
he's never really been an output massive guy. Like he used to have way more output.
But
back
Aston
in the
Villa
day.
changes things because
He had more output back then, but
At
he
City.
wasn't signed to do that, and he's not doing that. And Foden's chipping in here, but like it literally is Haaland or scrape a goal here.
It's
right?
Haaland or Rodri. Really,
Yeah,
it's
and,
weird.
And Haaland, despite scoring so many goals, has not been the
He's missed
Haaland of
some
last
chance.
year.
He's missed the
He's
chances.
missing way more chance than he did last year.
He could have been like, how many goals he scored by
He
now?
could have been. I mean, geez,
20
like
plus?
when I saw Haaland on like a 1-on-1 last year, or like in the box,
a goal.
it was automatic. It was like a bang goal. This year is different guy,
Tottenham,
man. He's
Newcastle,
like missing pens and stuff.
Sheffield. That's 3 games I can remember. He's missed like gettable chances. It's ridiculous.
So no, but look, once again, we talk about City. I think we all think it's gonna come again.
Yeah. Well, KDB
it's a
comes
Pep
back all of a
Guardiola
sudden.
team.
Yeah.
You get KDB back. Like
But it's fair. Tell you what,
it's all gonna be high in our cam rankings.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up right now. Yeah, but Pep's skin's been looking great. He's been drinking a fair bit of water the last few games. He's been guzzling that water. I tell you what, he loves
the water
it.
drinking's hilarious.
He loves the water drinking. And just a shout out to Luton as well. At home again. So
Yeah, I
lose
know.
unfortunate
So
one to you guys.
stiff, man.
Lose unfortunate to City.
Poor Luton.
Draw versus they're gonna go beat a Newcastle or a Chelsea or United very soon. I feel like it's one of those ones.
You hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Just nice.
Just a feel of it. All right, let's go to our top 10 a bit later this week. Number 10s for top 10s.
Top 10 tens.
Top 10 10s this week. This is a harder list than we thought. Each week we think it's getting easier, but I think
Because
it's
the game
harder.
is changing, lad. There's no more
Ball's changing.
A lot less Mesut Ozils and them.
bring
man.
back the
bring back
Mesut.
that era, bro. That
Yeah,
was nuts.
Barclays, man. Bring like Barclays.
Sad. Philip Coutinho.
All right, let's do it. Tots, US kick us off. Number 10 for you.
Decore.
Yeah, fair play. I probably.
Maybe I think I have him too high. My 10. Where's my list? Okay. Oh, Andres Pereira.
Yeah, nice. I rate that.
Yeah,
Good baller.
man. Like
Brazilian.
Brazilian tax.
Brazilian attacks.
Night attacks a little bit. But I think he was better last year. But he's decent.
He's getting back.
Pereira's alright.
I had to put someone in different, and because I have to keep up my reputation of being a streets guy, I've got Ross Barkley at 10.
Wow, Ross. I was not expecting Ross to be in this list.
He has been
no,
balling
I can respect him.
out. He has been killing it for there's 2 guys that have skill in their like ability in their
Andros
team.
Townsend.
Andrew Townsend and Ross Barkley. And guess who connected for the goal yesterday? It was Barkley to Townsend. To Adebayo. And the week before that, it was Barkley to Chong for the goal versus Liverpool.
That's hilarious.
Barkley has been killing it. It's not
Yeah,
really a 10.
I love
He's
that
playing
from
more
him.
an 8, but he is there on the screen. When it comes up on
We were
on
looking-
Prem, he's number 10.
I could have fired a
When we were
10.
looking at the ladder, we're like Burnley, Sheffield, Luton. No.
Once said Sheffield, I was like, I had to put someone in there. So yeah, fair play. Ross Barkley,
good call from you.
since he's gone to France, he's come back and he's proven he's a
We're just
Barclays
casuals.
baller.
We are casuals, but it is what it is.
Number 9, let's go. Number 9.
More casual.
Andres Pereira.
Yeah,
I got the Cora.
and I got Andres Pereira.
Yeah, so we.
Andres Pereira's refound a little bit the form of last year, man. He's missing obviously Mitro, but once Jimenez comes into form, I think he's.
I mean, yeah, like we got him 9 and 10. Like that's sort of where
it's respect
at a 9
considering-
and 10 club.
Yeah,
like,
I'm about to say it's respect considering he was considered a really
yeah.
mid baller. Like, he was playing in Brazil 2 years ago, and he's refound his form back in the
that's
Prem.
crazy. I
Yeah.
forgot that.
Flamengo, whatever he went to there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know what Flamengo. I
So,
don't like Flamengo.
I just had syllables to make it sound more
you're right.
Brazilian.
Cunha at 8.
Wow.
Could you be higher? I got Lucas Paqueta at 8. Is that
Yeah. Nah.
Who do you have?
is that a stinker? Have I stuffed this up?
Nah.
See,
I don't have much.
I think I've got it. No, I've got Paqueta that. Sorry, I think I've got 9. Shit. Okay. I got Paqueta at 8.
Do you have 9?
I think I might have 9.
Wait.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Have you missed
5,
then?
6, 7, 8. No, I've got 10. Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, Paqueta at 9. Yeah.
So did you have it? Where was?
Where's Barkley? Where's Ross the boss?
Where
Wait.
was-
So no, Ross 10. I've lost it. Lost 10, per 9, Paquette's at 8.
Okay,
He's at
yeah.
8. Sorry, I've had a mare here. Yeah,
He's at 8.
He's played very good.
I had Cunha.
Cunha, okay.
And then I've got Paqueta 7.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I rate that.
So just on, Paqueta, that's kind of just where, arguably a 10 this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been drifting a little bit. But, no.
He's been good. Like West Ham, when they do well, he does well. It's pretty simple when he turns up and plays. It just
I got Cunha a little bit higher.
I got Cunha a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think Cunha's a baller. But then again, it's like...
Do you have him 7? Or
No, I
both high?
got a bit higher than that. But like, then again, it's like, we're talking a few places here.
Okay. Yeah.
Cunha's a baller. I think he's been doing mad bits for Wolves this year.
Yeah.
Okay, who you got 7?
I got Alvarez. I know that might be low. I don't know if you guys have Alvarez on your list.
Oh, God. I must have deleted someone because I don't have Alvarez on my list.
Yeah, I
got
swear
him
you
on
told
mine.
Yeah, I know you have it. Okay,
I swear I said I had 2, didn't I? I said I had 2 City players, didn't I?
Yeah, you did say that.
I've sussed something up. Anyway.
You cooked the list.
All right, my 7 then is... Yeah, Cunha. I don't know who I must have deleted Alvarez. Yeah,
Alright.
my 7's Cunha. I've rated this. It's been good for them. And since Neto's been out as well, he's held the fort down. Like
I think
a
Mateus is
lot.
a beast.
Like a goal on the weekend that basically
Yeah.
get them that point where they didn't play great. He's connected.
So
he's helped
you at 7.
Paqueta.
Okay, that's right.
We said it in reverse.
And then moving on, someone that you just said, Alvarez at 6.
Okay, so we're all on the same alliance here.
Well, I think there's
6.
a very common top 5.
Yeah, 6 I got Mateus
So I'd
Cunha.
like to see you got 6.
Six I've got Matters just because he's injured. I would have had him higher.
Okay.
I would have had him
Who's in
higher.
the top 5 then?
But
Because me and you got the same top 5.
Well,
now I know
this
what
is
I've
gonna
done.
say
No.
Alvarez.
Sorry. Now I know what I've done. I've got 2 James Madisons.
Too many James Madison.
Blood's got 2
I've
Matter.
got 2 Madisons.
Did you mean Alvarez instead of Matter?
I must have written
Okay,
his
so
name
at
and not...
6 you have
6 over
Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah, so it's
I butchered this
We
list
literally
this
all have
week.
the exact same thing.
we got the same top 5.
I got
then.
6 Cunha.
Yeah, so
how
we
have I
got
butchered
we got the
this
exact
list?
same top 10. Oh no, he brought Barkley, but me and you had the
Yeah,
exact same top
okay,
10.
so
I had to be different because
like
that.
I think the top 5 are more like distinctly 10s.
They're just
and they are
and they're distinguished guys that have been there for a while. Like we
yeah.
know them.
The reason you can't put Alvarez higher because it's like he's not
really
a 10.
10,
He's doing a bit of a job. He had some outputs, nice free kicks and
Can't
stuff.
put
Yeah,
twice. No wonder I didn't have
exactly.
Alvarez. That
And
makes sense.
like it's all kind of given take.
Okay, so getting into the big boy
Yeah,
talk
this is
now.
what really
5.
happened.
So Matters, you
Dominic.
don't have, wait,
So
you
Madison's
don't-
high. Madison's high.
So you don't have Matters for 6.
No. So I stuffed. I'm sorry.
So this is what everyone cares about.
I've
Top
got
5,
I've got Dominic 5.
Dominic 5.
as do I.
Okay.
No, you
you
don't.
paused there a bit. I was a bit nervous.
No, I do. I was just saying.
Yeah.
I saw your list and you don't. He's been called out here. I saw the list and you don't. You're Matters 5.
Here's Madison.
Yeah.
It's the
No,
Arsenal.
but I
tracks.
made this last
It's
second.
the Arsenal.
And it's a flexible list. We're all about flexibility here. Okay?
Oh, when I did it like a couple of weeks ago, I got abused.
No, it's all about flexibility. No. Okay. My 4 and
He's been
5
called out.
is Dominic.
This is a clip of the
and
century.
Matters. No, it's 4 and 5 because I'm standing by. No, I've got Matters 5 here, but I've done this before in my preseason predictions. I also fluctuated live. Okay, it's a fluctuation. It's a flexible
Fluid list.
industry,
It's a
right?
fluid
It's
list.
fluid as hell.
Yeah.
Okay. Dom is 5 for me.
Dom 5.
So,
Let's all have
I
Dom
think
5.
Matters is better. Okay, so
Okay,
Dom is
let's
5.
go. Dom 5. Matters,
Dom's a little bit of a-
Matters
Matters
4.
4. Yeah, Matters 4. I'm content
Okay,
with that.
everyone's Matters 4.
Matters is he's obviously 4, but when he was playing as well, you've got to be up being. He's obviously not breaking into the top 3, but he's got to be in contention that those sort of guys.
The top 3 have just set
I
themselves.
can put Matters above my 3 if you want. Like, I can put him.
He would love to put.
Yeah, I
the
can put Matters above
I
my
just think
3.
the top 3 now are people that have all cemented themselves in the last 3 years.
And they're out and out 10s.
10s.
Like
And they play
10s.
every week.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah.
So at 3, Bruno.
Bruno French.
I got Bruno Fernandes.
You couldn't I'd love to put him higher. And I
2
think
years ago, you could have put him higher.
2 years ago, I'm still convinced
He was the best
he
on
could have
the
been he could have been 1.
Yeah, no. 2 years ago, Bruno could have definitely been one. It was purely like, KDB's done it for longer. Like, that was the only debate.
Yeah. But at that
The
time,
stats are ridiculous. He's made the most minutes of everyone in the world.
you know he's got the
Most
same
chances.
goals and assists as KDB in the last 5 years.
It's ridiculous.
No, yeah, I'm not surprised.
He's the only attacking option. That's probably why as well. He's
Those first 18 months he came in, his stats were like ridiculous. He's got 10 goals, 10 assists, getting signed in January.
No, it was nuts. I remember when Bruno came, it was nuts.
Yeah, Colin Ball and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, we all got Bruno 3.
Yep, Odegaard 2.
and KDB.
Martin 2. Yeah.
See,
No shot from me
I
this
was
week.
surprised by you. I thought with all this recency stuff that
I
you
know,
go on it,
but there's
you
one
reckon at
player in the
least-
Prem you can't. The best player in the Premier League, KDB, you can't not
But it
have
hasn't
him.
played a game this year.
I know, but it's KDB.
KDB.
No, I know. I would definitely put
don't
him
get me wrong.
on.
Don't get me wrong. For my mental, yeah, but like it's KDB. He's
I think
the best
KDB
midfielder.
I got a question for
I
you.
think
If
KDB is the best
Erdegaard
Premier
was
League
in
midfielder
the
of all time.
form he was last year, would you have done it?
No, because I feel like he's only done it for a year and a half. Whereas KDB's done it for like 7. How long has he been? 7 years? 8 years?
It is really tough to put anyone above KDB.
It's just like it's the one of those players you just can't. He could be injured for 2 years.
Like the reason why you can
Worth.
put Rice above Rodri is because it's like, you know, okay, Rodri's been, for me, for example, I could justify that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, maybe Arsenal
5
tax.
years though. Rodri's probably done it for.
No, but Rice has also done it for bare time. That's the thing. I think people underestimate how long Rice has done it and how good. Yeah, so look, I could justify that. Martin, like, no one's knocked on the door.
I got a question
KDB.
for you. I
Like,
know we're not gonna have the chance to do this, but would you put Kane above Haaland?
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So that's the same principle, obviously. Then.
Yeah, last year I would have had him
Kane's
above
game-
him as
I think
well.
Kane's game is all round better anyway. But
We
yeah,
talked
that's
this last year, but yeah, we
different.
can use it.
So yeah, KDB won, and I think we all agree that it's purely because like,
He's a wizard, man. Like,
yeah, he's done it for so long, and look, you know, cut him a bit of slack. He's been pretty consistent with his injury, like, you know, like with playing week in week out for like a long period of time now. He's getting on a little bit, but yeah, no one's really knocked on the door that hard to take over that.
Well,
spot.
yeah, no one had. On form, maybe Erdegaard did last year, and Bruno maybe did.
No,
a couple
Odegaard was
years-
probably the best 10, I think, on last year, right?
And then Bruno was for maybe an 18-month period.
Before that. But it's like he's been second, if not first, that whole time, and then he's been first or before that.
and I'm about to say, it's not like first and best in the Prem, it's like first in the world.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's also just not Prem. It's also
Yeah.
like, you know, European landscape.
Yeah.
He's
He's better than the Modric and all these guys. Like, he's.
I think
been the
KDB
guy
will go down as the best 10 in Prem, if not the best midfielder in Premier
Premier
League
League
history.
history. I think he genuinely will.
No, I think
Lampard, what?
No, but
they've got 180
here's the
Premier
whole
League
Gary.
goals.
Here's the old
Yeah, I
Gary
know.
Neville Walker debate
I
we
think it's
always have
recency
every week.
bias, bro. Like, I
We
think
were like,
it's-
aura of
So I think
Gerrard,
it's just-
Lampard,
sorry, I think
Scholes.
But
it's
Aura,
nostalgia.
it's 180 Premier League goals from midfield. That is
Yeah.
insane.
When you see KDB's ability and his numbers at the end of his career, you'll be like, was this
I'm not
guy?
sleeping on
it won't be
Lampard's things.
compared to
But
Lampard.
I'm just more so talking about like KDB's
And what did he win?
how integral he's been in this in like the best team
History
of all time.
Yeah.
Like in any sport, in anything. This is like this will, you know, everything with nostalgia is like a little bit better.
I know, but you're
like,
talking
this will
about
go down.
we're going against the people like a Lampard who probably had like 4 or 5 Premier Leagues, and still a Champions League. Like,
Well, he's gone and won 5, 6 Premier Leagues and 1 Champions League.
and he's not done. And he's not done.
So like you keep telling me these stats, and I'll counter you.
Yeah, it's like
but they're very similar at
there's
the moment.
okay, yeah, there's a
Yeah,
debate
but-
there. I'm just thinking KDB's better.
I think once you retired for 1 year, everyone will be like, oh my god, KDB, what a baller he was.
I really miss him.
Yeah, like he was integral to the Premier League,
Yeah,
man.
watch one highlight and it suddenly
Yeah.
flashes all the memories.
Yeah,
from,
like those. We want those 1080p like YouTube
we'll
highlight
get, we'll
reels.
see so we'll start getting 4K.
Yeah, the 4K
highlights.
highlights. And you know what? This is going to like one of those ESPN 30 for 30s, like the docos, the dynasty of Man City, oil wins or something like that, and just them just balling out. All right, that's our top 10. We'll rattle them off individually. So I went Barkley, Pereira. How did I do this in the end? I went then
Barkley, Pereira, Paqueta,
Paqueta,
Cunha.
then I went to Alvarez, then I went Dom, Matters, Bruno, Odegaard, De Bruyne. That was my 10.
Same top 5.
Same top
Set
5.
to
Change lane. Same top 5. And then
And you guys had
6 Cunha, 7 Alvarez, 8 Paqueta, 9 Decore,
Decore.
10.
You guys had Decore. I had Barkley.
Yeah, see, I had
10. Who's that 10?
Andres
your
Pereira.
nine?
So I had 9 Pereira, Decore 10,
Yeah.
8 Cunha, 7 Paqueta, 6 Alvarez.
Perfect. All right, we
Cool.
come to the last game, which was Spurs forward Newcastle. We basically talked about it just to fully summarise all up. Massive win for Spurs, back on track. Top 5 now. They're actually in the 5 now.
Yeah,
They dropped out of the 5. So they're back in 5th.
I don't know if they did, but yeah.
I think
I think it was goal difference equal with United, but they never
Oh,
dropped.
so-
they never dropped.
they dropped. Okay, yeah.
is your
They're
goal
now
difference,
clear on points in
Negative
5th.
5.
Yeah, as I'm saying, how good is it? How impressive? What a ball
Ange playing, he's like you said earlier in the video, he's staying with his style of football. He's going to keep attacking. You know what's really impressive? Richarlison scored 2 goals. Like
Oh,
that.
good goals too.
This is going down in
First
Premier League
goal,
history.
first goal for Tottenham with his feet.
His feet,
A
yeah.
bit annoyed though. Like I need Son through the middle from like one of my most
Yeah, but
goals.
I don't get that one though. Obviously it worked, but why is Son now gone back to the left?
We sat Trippier down like 5 times, so fair play.
You know, and he'll stay there now,
Yeah.
which is so annoying.
Yeah.
But like for FPL and everything. But it's like, I guess you have a player in Richarlison. You know,
You got to try him. You got to try him again at some point.
But why did he move it then in the first place?
Because he was just so bad.
Because the form
he
was
persisted
nuts.
for a literal.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He
then
gave him
why
4
has
or
he
5
persisted
games.
again? Obviously,
I don't know.
It's a mini new. You know, you have these mini new eras in a
fluctuate a little
season.
bit, like-
They've had some injuries, so why not keep?
You're
the guy
allowed
that
to
can
drop
play?
a player for 3 games.
Yeah.
You know, put the pressure on him, and then you're allowed to do that.
And that second goal,
You don't have to do one thing and then that's it. Like play Johnny Evans and decide, okay, Johnny Evans is a better centre back than Rafael Varane. You know what I mean?
no one agrees with that. But
Well, Ten Hag clearly thinks it. But anyway, look, let's not.
the second goal was like a proper goal as well. Like good first touch, take it down, make the keeper. Newcastle's looked tired though as well. I feel like
They had a few chances.
They've had
early chances and
they've had no subs the last 3 weeks. I think this was the first week they've actually had like Wilson and someone else on the bench. So I think even with Trippier, I think it's a bad time with how we rated it because I think they're just getting tired and he's just had to play so many games.
he has been shocking though.
Two assists for Everton. Sat in his ass 4 or
Literally
5
two
times
assists.
in this game. It's just
He was on his bum so much.
it was hilarious. But he was playing like ice. The guy was like slipping. It was
Trips.
Son's playing insane as well.
Hyung Min is
Hyun-min.
back to Hyung
Yeah.
Min.
And they got their midfield back, Pap Sars, and they with Basuma. It just felt like Tottenham again. Or not Tottenham again. It felt like the start of the season, Tottenham again. And the fact that Romero was back, your doggy was back.
And we sort of
back.
think this will, like, we do sort of think that, you know, despite them having a really good game, this could be the rest of their season. Like, you know, a bit of yo-yo, like, you know,
Yeah.
some game you put a few past them.
Yeah,
Not
I still think
massive
I still
yo-yo.
think they're back on the upturn though, in the fact that I think they've gone through the worst of it because now you've got most of your identity back. Obviously, Maddison and Van de Ven are probably their 2 best players, but they're still going to play this style now, and they can with these players back.
so do you genuinely think that, like, what Tottenham did before wasn't just a high peak of form? I'm not saying that they're going to drop significantly,
Well, obviously, because Maddison was in the form of his life.
but do you know,
But-
like, what do you think, like, Tottenham actually playing good is? So,
Well,
like,
they played
playing good
yesterday.
consistently, not you thinking what they did at the start of the season is like the best team in the Prem at that point and all this kind of stuff. Like, what is Tottenham playing good, winning?
Hear me out though.
Well,
have they
what's-
not played the exact same way through the injuries? Just don't have enough quality because they've scored first in every game. They took it to Villa, who is now
Correct.
the
I'm not
best in the
saying
Premier League.
not saying how they play though. I'm saying like
But isn't that how you rate a team? How they play? Because maybe this is where we're missing things. Maybe this is why we had a lot of
I rate
arguments today.
teams off the points they get.
That's very objective, right? And that's why where we come from. The whole like
I think it's
Chelsea
a
thing and the
combination.
whole,
I think
like-
it's a combination of both. I think
Yeah.
you're more objective. I think maybe you're a bit more subjective.
because obviously the points matter, and it matters more when you're in a title race because you need like the Arsenal to get the points or Villa to get these points. And
If
these
you're
guys.
talking about who's going to be better in the long run,
Give me
Tottenham.
two teams. Give me 2 teams.
Okay, so Tottenham and United. Tottenham's going to be better in the long run.
Easy.
Okay, easy.
And
But
they're better in the short run.
no, well, I don't necessarily
medium.
agree with that.
But they are. What are you talking about?
They're better-
I don't
Mr.
think that
Objective
Tottenham
over
get
here.
more points
Mr.
from now on.
Oh, that
than
is so stupid.
They
Because
don't.
they have more points.
But I don't think they will get.
But they're gonna get even better.
So how are they going to be better in the long run if they're going to get less points
So it's up
when
the
they're
Arteta-
better now? It
it's up
makes
the Arteta-
no, Antonio.
this is
I'm trying
delusional
to
stuff.
understand you,
This is
but it
not.
makes no
I'm
sense.
talking like the long run, like next season and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Long run.
But you can't just assume things from what you've seen. How does it not tell you that
I
it
don't
will
get
continue
it.
the
I
long
don't
run?
get it. Okay, they lose a few games. Then they beat, they will lose a few games
Because
they
they've got quality, but they still don't have enough quality at this current point in time
So you're
to
telling me-
continually win based on the
Okay,
game style they're playing.
so now you've turned in on yourselves. You're saying right now. So what if they go sign a striker and a winger in January, and they go sign a centre back and a
makes no sense
midfielder
what
next
you're
year,
saying. Like-
and they can't do it in the long run? That game makes no sense at all.
Like,
What do you mean?
unfortunately,
What do
you said to me, I can't see them doing it over next season. Then you go say,
No, I
having
said
got
I
the depth
can.
right now.
you know, we're literally.
said I can't see them
literally-
doing it now.
We're literally 3 games.
That's what I said. I said
swear
they
you
can do
did.
long run,
We are
not
literally
now.
3 games from the halfway point of the season, right?
Yeah.
3 games from halfway,
And they're fourth.
right? And they're above you on points, and you're saying they have a better. They look like they're going to be better in the long run. I just don't know how you can make any argument that United are like somehow
Oh, you're-
better prep for the short
I
term
think
because
Newcastle are
they
better
play
prepped.
like a more
I think Newcastle are better prepped.
That's a hard
So
one
let's
because
just
they're injured.
conclude United right now. I think Newcastle are better prepped.
Okay, well, Newcastle could be better prepped. I don't know, like
I want to see them. I want to re-see them play because with both strong. Because I don't know who's a better manager yet. I'm still not sold on who's.
Yeah, Newcastle. I think they're like their own entity.
It's a mixed bunch right now. They're their own, yeah.
I know United, and I know how Spurs. I know Spurs now. I know United now.
We know Chelsea. We know those sort of guys.
I know Chelsea, and I think. I don't know. I just think I yap about United so much. But.
Yeah, but I just don't. Okay, Ange has a distinct philosophy that looks like it will definitely work into the future,
and it's worked right now.
Yes, but you always see with these types of teams when they start off, they go through a bad patch and a worse patch than what they just went through then. Always they do start off. You saw with the Arteta,
so are you
even
saying
with Liverpool, even with Pep.
To come, or what are you saying?
I think that they're gonna have to like weather the storm, and I don't think the storm's finished. I think you guys are going, it's a 4-1. Yes, because when you have a storm, the sun comes out, but then it goes back down again.
I still
the sun
reckon
goes away again.
Terrible analogy, makes no sense. None of us making any sense.
If you can go through a period where you lose your whole midfield, you lose your defence, you play 4 left backs, and you don't reckon that's a pretty serious storm. And
but they haven't done well in the storm. They've done well in one game in the storm.
Yeah, but they're out of it now because they've got their players back, and you know what happened the first time? They got somewhat of a team back.
Like you're you pick and choose. You're cutting off your sample size so like at the perfect point because you're completely disregarding the fact that they were top of the league. So they won they didn't lose for 12 games or something.
They were unbeaten.
Right? They were the longest unbeaten team in the Prem. And then you're deciding, okay, when they lose, and they lose a couple in a row when they get all these injuries, but disregard all that crap. When they lose, to up until now, which is probably 5 or 6 games, and they lost 3 out of 5 or something ridiculous. But it's disregard the 12 games before that. And it's okay, looking at this, I think United are better prepped, but let's leave everything else.
It just
I don't get what you're going on about, though.
I'm saying it's in
your logic made no sense.
I don't get what you're going on about. You're saying Spurs are better prep for the future, but a worse prep for now. Yet there are more points now, and they have a better game style. So it's it just makes so yes, they're better prep for the
game
future.
Game style doesn't get you wins though.
But it does. It does.
Because
they're on higher. They're on more points than you.
Stop. Players doesn't get you wins yet. Klopp, Guardiola, and Arteta are put on pedestals because of how they play their football.
Yeah, right now, but it doesn't necessarily.
What do you mean?
What
do you mean
right now? Is all we've got. The sample size is all we get.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
If you want to go on sample size, then what are you on about Liverpool? Because we've got 0 sample size.
Right now, on May 31st or whatever it is, 4 out of 5 is pretty sure they won the league right now on that point. And then it's right now.
You're telling me
right now Liverpool top of the league, and so what are you talking about? We're 16 games in, we're halfway through the season, and right now they're above you.
Of a team that you
play styles win you titles.
That they're players, and you're going to go. Basically, what you're saying is that. Obviously, Ange seems like he's a good manager, but we've not seen enough of him yet to say, we're talking about Tottenham players who have been terrible. The same players that have been terrible, because the players that actually come back in were at the club last year.
So what about
the 2 players that are injured weren't here. The 2 players that are injured at the moment were the ones actually not at the club. So the players that you're talking about, Romero's back, and Pap Sarr's back, and Basuma's back, who
Pap Sarr never played under these managers.
Basuma, who was like Brian,
who never played.
Okay, so what about the same Villa players?
Brendan Johnson never played.
What about the same Villa players who were so bad under Gerrard, Leon Bailey?
That's why I don't think that they're necessary. I don't think Villa will finish top 4.
But if they finish in top 4 for Villa, would be exceeding their expectations so much.
So would it be for Tottenham?
Yeah, I know, but But we both think they can make it. That's the point. And we both think they can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying that.
and I'm at the point where I reckon Aston Villa, it'd be not the end of the world, but I think it'd be a disappointment not to make the top 4, but considering they want Champions League, they want the money.
Look, I can't bother going back and forth on this. I don't understand.
I think you're picking and choosing what you want to use.
I don't even understand what you're saying. Like, it just anyway. We'll talk about this.
How don't you get it though? All I'm saying is that Tottenham right now have a good game style, but they're going to drop a lot of points.
That doesn't. But you compared it to United and said the reason I don't understand because you compared it to United and you said United are like better prep for the short term. Yet Spurs have more points. Like that is all I need to see.
They play better. They score more goals. They win more games.
When they got those points, when United had injuries. And as soon as we both have injuries, who gets more points?
Except one of them's injuries in it's like their first They lost like 3 games out of 5. You're acting like they lost like 10 games, right? You know,
They picked up
they're
4
still
points
fourth.
out of 15, but yeah.
they fixed up pretty quick. They just battered Newcastle,
Including
4-1.
the Newcastle game,
They
they
just-
picked up 4 out of 15.
Yeah, and they sorted it out pretty quick. They just battered Newcastle.
1 out of 12.
Yeah, it took them 4 games to figure it out. Is what you're saying? It took them 4 games, which
They
were
haven't figured it out yet,
included
they've won one game.
City, Aston Villa, Newcastle.
like a high flying West Ham. You know, who was 7th at this time. It's like it just makes no sense.
All top half clubs, and yet Ten Hag hasn't won away a game at top half club.
Anyway,
So you Ten Hag out then?
No, but I refuse to speak about Ten Hag. I refuse. I talk about other managers who do other better.
But are you
things
Ten
and
Hag
stuff.
out?
no, I am Ten Hag.
He's Ten Hag.
That's my job. Okay,
My job in here is to talk about Iriola.
that's
He's actually
my
done
job.
good things with his club. I'm supposed
He
to
talks
balance
about the ballers.
conversations.
I talk about the clout.
I'm the streets. I'm for the streets. I'm for the people who listen from Brighton and stuff like All right.
No, sorry, my tweet did say Eric.
Last two things. We'll touch on FPL. I guess we'll touch on FPL quickly.
Yeah.
How many points this week? Because I stunk it. I
36, and I think that was all Heung-Min Son.
same.
I hate
I
this game.
35.
So, like, I've had Robert Sanchez, right? I wild card and brought him in. So I was like, oh my God, I'll go through the pain with Areola. They're great fixture runners coming up now. He's going to pay off. Now he's injured. Now Areola isn't getting any because he's injured. Reece James traded him in this week because, okay, maybe that's a bad trade because it's like Reece James, he's got the injury record. But come on. Like, they have a nuts fixture coming up. I trade him in. 27 minutes. Hamstring gone. Awesome. Haaland, I captained. I don't have Salah. Everyone has Salah. They all VC'd him, so they weren't going to get the double points.
Yep, I don't have Taylor either.
Doubles up. Awesome.
Who did you vice captain? Because I vice captain Saka.
Saka as well. So 4 points. Yeah,
Should
have gone.
And I had Trippier on -1. And
it's just a terrible week. My team's looking disgusting.
and once again, I benched.
I am ranked 3 mil, which is like borderline killing myself.
I had 35. I benched Leno for a 9. I think in that we'd.
We're 4 points apart in our league. Woo!
Yeah, mid.
Oh my God, Danks is sitting pretty like
These Salah guys are chilling.
He's 70 points. Yeah, it's literally just Salah.
I had 8 points on my bench with Leno on my bench, and I fielded a 9er.
I had no one on my bench. I had negative. I actually think I had negative points on my bench. So look,
And I had Saliba on the bench when I had Trippier -1.
I had negative 1 on the bench.
Okay, so yeah,
So
I took points.
I fielded my best team. Wow, look at
Yeah.
me.
So I had probably one of the worst teams I could put out there. And I still managed 35. So
I'm not giving up, but I hate the game.
Yeah, it sucks right now. All right, let's finish with winners and losers before we wrap up or before we fight each other. Winners and
Okay,
losers.
losers 10. Cool. I don't know.
Well,
I'm being serious.
Well, you go with Ten Hag. I'm going to branch off the FPL. My losers, everyone who had Haaland captained.
And
FPL.
didn't have Salah.
And didn't have Salah. And VC'd anyone but Salah. That's my losers for the weekend. 'Cause
Yeah,
FPL, there was crisis meetings in FPL.
If you had it probably was almost an even bigger loser though. If you had Salah, didn't VC him.
Yeah, you know what? If you
And
doubled
had
down
Haaland,
on that.
that'd be stiff. That'd be stiff.
Your losers, Tots.
Everton.
Losers.
Yeah, okay. Let me explain. You look at me like I'm some kind of idiot.
They've been 2-0.
Okay?
They're 2-0.
No. They're losers because of that
Right,
10 point
if anyone
deduction.
is
They'd be
still watching-
fighting Europe.
Okay.
They'd be fighting Europe.
That was such
At
a
the
massive,
moment.
That was such a massive.
What a cliffhanger. You got me hook, line, and sinker. I was about to bite.
I was just about to walk out. I think it's my time to go.
It's the time to
Okay.
go.
That was a very good one, by the way.
Winner? Yeah, we'll get
Yeah, you got us there. Winners?
Villa.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, hard to look past Villa. I'm going to go Villa as well, just because massive week. Massive, in terms of the week, Villa.
In terms of 2-0 wins in a combination, that's one of the biggest weeks of all time. I'll go Iriola. Proving everyone right.
Deserves. And also the special mention for Fulham. What's his name?
Marcus as well. He's not got that just the Spanish tax anymore. He's actually a proper manager. I think people just calling some just fraud Spanish managers. So he's actually proved they can do something. So fair play. And they're high on my power rankings for a reason. That wraps us up, guys. Big episode.
Another massive double game week. So pretty. How long was that one?
We didn't go an hour 30, but we didn't really touch on everything in the double game weeks. But it's so hard to keep up with. But
it is.
a single game week next weekend, so we'll be more under control. Right. And we'll go to wingers next week for rankings. So that'll be contentious. Contentious at
Start to actually
know some players.
Yeah, start to actually be hard to feel be hard to know who to drop out of your list. Not actually just try to find some random
Anthony might not make my list.
Not try to chuck Ross Barkley into our list because we've got no other players.
Don't slander your Barkley, right?
I respect Ross.
Straight ball. Everton approving. Alright, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Which one's this looking at? It's not that. That's not looking at us right now. This one is.
We're looking at that. That one's looking at you guys. Something's happening. We're all good. 3 cameras. Hopefully, we're all right.
Bang, bang, bang.
We'll see you guys next week. Until then, guys, have a good one.